I actually did some research on this.
Holy Toledo.
We're back. Okay.
Not yet.
Let me play this theme song.
Megatron must be stopped, no matter the cost.
Hello, friends,
Hello.
and welcome to the Autopod Decepticast, a bi-weekly podcast delivering an episode-by-episode breakdown of the original G1 Transformers series. In case you were thinking it was some other G1 series thing, this is our episode number 173. Today we're covering the sort of a lost episode called it's not a part of the official G1 American US canon, Scramble City: Mobilization, released April of 1986. And it wouldn't be an Autopod Decepticast episode if I didn't slack off on the intro. This is your host, Aaron.
Hey, I'm Ryan. I mean, you only had 2 months to figure one out for this dumbass episode.
I'm Caleb, and welcome, Aaron, to the dark side.
You know, I really did like not working on this.
Me too. Wait, what's so funny?
What'd you guys do at the time off, Ryan?
I did some things for the podcast.
You did?
You may or may not know. I did
I think we all
a
did.
Three-parter with Michael Andrews, Michael Micro Motorcycle, as Aaron knows.
I don't
him,
know.
and
It's a non sequitur.
our friend Mike Seibert. We reviewed the 2007 Michael Bay Transformers movie, and if you haven't heard it, go back and listen to it. If you have or haven't, here's a spoiler: I did not like it. And, that was pretty much it. I did that, and then I did update all of our spreadsheets, which I'll probably have to do again now.
Good. This is good radio.
It is. Everybody's very interested in my Excel game. Updated all of our new air dates, and I basically figured out every cocktail I'm gonna make for our upcoming season 3 episodes, and the box office and the music number 1. So all that's out of the way.
Sweet. That's 2 months of work right there. We got our booty boxes out during the break.
We did, except I'm sorry, Michael Tremblett, you still have not received yours because Australia is still not accepting packages.
Right.
And I apologize.
It's got to clean up soon. The world
I do not understand.
The world's ready. The world is ready for the booty box. The Southern Hemisphere needs the booty box. Caleb, you amped up our Facebook presence.
That's
He
what I did. You kind of laid the groundwork. You
Oh, that's
cleaned
true.
some stuff up, and then I got in there and started. I enhanced it a bit, and then it started inviting friends like crazy.
How many friends are we up to?
We have around 650 to 700 friends on Facebook now.
God, we're popular.
It's an interesting place.
Hey,
It
buy,
is.
You should probably
compared
buy
to
some
Twitter.
of our merchandise, friends.
I don't know. We've been active as we've ever been on social media. We certainly didn't take a break from that, but I'm glad to be back recording.
Yeah, the Facebook thing was kind of interesting because we had two presences. We had something that functioned as a
Business
page, and then the social page, and we just somehow decided to get rid of the business page because why?
Well,
Why?
it was confusing.
We didn't
It was confusing
necessarily need
us. So yeah, I've been busy as I always
Yeah,
am.
what's been going on personal stuff?
I had my birthday. You guys came for my birthday party. We went
Oh,
bowling.
I need to publish those photos.
We did go bowling.
Yeah.
I put some photos on Twitter of my butt.
I haven't played a gig. I haven't played a gig since January. So I've just been. I mean, Omicron came and went, and just stayed kind of laid low during that.
It's going to come again. We got that BA2 variant coming in with the 500,000 people that are going to be visiting for the Bass Pro Fishing World Tour.
Yeah, I'm not
this
going to that.
weekend. No, but it'll spread.
I thought the APDC COVID and emo arcs might be ending, and we could start fresh with a new one. But I guess it's the same old bullshit.
Hey. Yeah. Oh, good. Everything's good. Life is great.
Right. Listeners are like relieved, like, oh, thank God Ryan hasn't changed one bit.
He's the draw.
What a piece of shit.
Okay, so let's see. What have I been doing? I mean, I talked about therapy, so I'll just say I've been doing it. I've just finished my physical therapy. My core is as good as it's ever been. My back is feeling better.
You're shirtless. I'm sitting like with your ripped abs.
I have a strong core. There's still a nice coating of icing on the cake.
Coating of ice.
What else have I got going on? Oh, we planned a celebration of life for my mom.
Thank
you guys for coming to that.
Yeah, we went to Eureka Springs.
I've got great pals coming down.
It was a good time.
It was fun.
Hanging out, getting lost, not going to the ghost tour.
Talk to me about the ghost tour.
You did
'cause
not miss out.
So ladies
getting
and
lost.
let me set this
getting
up real
lost
quick.
was the best thing you could have possibly done.
They'll set it up so that I had a dinner. I had a dinner at a restaurant in Eureka Springs, and it was family and friends. It was about split 50-50. My sister didn't invite many people, but it was maybe, I don't know, 30 people at dinner. And then the next thing was the ghost tour, because Eureka Springs is one of those spooky haunted towns.
Spooky-ooky.
And I guess I won't dox the name of the place because I think we're about to give it a 1-star review.
It was
a walking town review. The town is really old. It's like all the buildings are from the early to mid 1800s, if not
that old.
Well, no, they are.
Mid to late.
Late 1800s,
Okay.
early 1900s.
Okay,
yeah.
So and it's all been preserved really well, and so with that, any town like that is going to try and capitalize on ghostiness. And we went with a service that
It came well reviewed.
it was very well reviewed. I think I forgot that Caleb actually recommended it, but I would have gone with it anyway.
Yeah.
I'm not blaming you.
I read like multiple sources, and then
And Ryan, I was a little irritated at first with Ryan, but then he was sick, and then I felt bad, and so, well, just because you didn't show up and you gave up, so I was like, I would never give up, and everybody else found it, so Ryan's not dumb.
I don't know what happened.
You meet at the courthouse, but Ryan,
My Google Maps failed me. I don't know what happened.
now I'm just jealous of you. That's the main
I was
thing.
a little drunk and I got irritated, and I was like, "Fuck it, we're just going back to our hotel."
you did the right thing.
So
Yeah.
continue. What happened?
Oh God, Caleb, pick it up.
So first of all, I dropped off Ryan and West at the hotel, and then I have to find a place to park. And while I'm doing that, Aaron's like blowing me up, like, "Where are you? Where are you?"
I was afraid. Well, there were other people on the
Come
tour
on.
other than my family, so I was
So I'm
afraid
like
we were
literally
going to lose you or
running,
hold
and
up.
Andy's
Yeah.
getting mad at me because I'm like, "Oh my God, I'm going to be late to the best ghost tour that it's ever been," and I've been like talking it up myself. And I get there, and there's a lot of people at this thing, and this guy starts talking, and he is not very funny, and not and
Was he engaging?
nope, and
But he was on the 4-season show called Meteorite Men.
So, yeah,
So he had that going for him. I guess.
He plugged his
Oh yeah.
So I guess long story short, I'm waiting for him to talk about some ghost stories, and he really never does. And it's kind of cold outside, and I thought we were going to go inside some buildings or down some alleys or something.
Right.
And it was really underwhelming. He took us up the street, and he would basically take a long time to tell a story about something that was not very interesting, which
Right.
is probably how most of our listeners experience us.
At least one. We'll get to that.
Yeah. Oh, really? So anyway, it was really underwhelming, and I started like really. It was, for some reason, it was oddly triggering to me, and I left early. Me and the
Oh,
thing
you
was-
bailed?
I bailed.
He wasn't the only one that bailed out of our crew. Yet, so he would basically, like Caleb was saying, it was basically a history, but an uninteresting history
Yeah, it was-
lesson. But
Oh,
and then the
no.
last 30 seconds of each history lesson, he would say, "And so they say there's ghosts here."
and also
Yeah, it's like
haunted.
Yeah, it's like, God damn. Yeah,
We learned
it
about
was
the bank
so-
robbery that
so
went wrong.
boring.
You'd think a bank robbery story would be exciting.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
So
no.
it
It's
seems
not-
like
it's
he
not.
almost had to
He-
try to make it uninteresting.
He was not good at making it exciting, and I
Catacombs were promised.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
There
I
are
thought there
actually
was supposed to be
catacombs. So the whole tour ends at what we think we're going to the catacombs. And by the way, at this point, it wasn't just our crew. A good 75% of people left, and so there was about 10 people. And I felt bad because I walked Caleb back to his hotel.
You didn't.
And Melody had even left with her sister. And then I felt bad because some of my family was still back on the tour. So I raced to catch up, and I figured, oh God, there's probably no way I'm going to actually be able to find them because I've been away from this tour for about 15 minutes. Nope. And I just backtracked back to the tour. No, they had moved, but I found them pretty easily. It didn't take long. But he had been telling just another rambly, long, boring-ass story before he walks everybody into what is his gift shop, and
of course.
And in there, if you want, you can get a giant poster of Meteorite Man, 4 seasons on the Travel Channel. But that's where the catacombs, where he opens a door and there's like 10 feet of catacombs that you can walk through.
What?
So the
false advertisement.
It's a real
because in my mind,
ruined orgasm.
I would have been like, "Oh, we're going to be walking through the sewers like Ninja Turtles."
I thought I thought we'd at least be seeing some stuff, and it was going to be haunted stories. There wasn't. It was boring.
Well, I'm not sorry.
And I can put up with a lot.
And his personality was just so.
It was
bad.
his personality that really.
And
really
the best part of the whole thing is when some drunk guy off the street just came up to him as he was telling one of the long stories and got from Caleb to me.
Yeah, I got really close
in
and
his
just,
face,
kind of like staring at him.
And just for a long time, and we were all like, all the dudes on the tour were just waiting to see, is something going to happen, and are we going to have to act?
Like that's his
I'm
nemesis?
I'm sure some of the women felt that way too. Didn't have to be just the dudes.
So that was the ghost story.
Well,
Bless you for missing it.
I am sorry that I did bail quickly because I get frustrated easily. But also, then Wes and I went back to our hotel, which, just a quick plug, Elmwood House in Eureka Springs. Historic 1886 hotel. Highest possible recommendation. It's so great. But we went back to our jacuzzi tub and had a sudsy bath.
Ryan had the best. Ryan had the best night.
Yeah. And then he was sick all day the next day.
I was. I got up the next day and we were supposed to go and have brunch. And I got up and I felt sick, which is weird because I didn't even drink that much. I literally had the same amount to drink as my girlfriend, who never drinks. And I don't know what it was, but I felt sick. And then we I texted these guys, and I was like, "I'm sorry, I'm not gonna make it." And Mel was like, "That's cool." And so we started driving back. And by the way, the road from Eureka Springs to Springfield is just a windy ass, no shoulder country road.
It is really pretty.
It is pretty. And about halfway through, I did throw up, but thankfully I brought some garbage bags from the hotel and threw up in the bag in the car.
And then threw it out the window?
No, we stopped at a gas station. I emptied it out.
Here, you emptied it out. You didn't just throw it away.
No,
You
because
dumped it out. I'll save this
I
for
wasn't
later.
sure if I was going to throw up again.
Oh, God.
They'll
that's
give
so
you another
gross.
bag at the.
At the gas station?
Yeah, they sell things.
What? One bag, please.
And you just puke in it as soon as he hands it over to you.
And one more, please.
Yeah, and I'll just another quick little plug I'll give. We were listening to a podcast called Too Scary Didn't Watch, which is an excellent podcast that you should all listen to. It is 3 women, 2 of which don't like to watch scary movies, one of which does watch the scary movies and then tells the other 2 about it. And it is an excellent podcast. And we listened to the Get Out episode, and it's great.
All right, enough plugging people that aren't us. We're the best.
One of a kind.
It was a good time. It was a whirlwind. I enjoyed it. After we got out of that situation, I did go out with Aaron and some of our friends that we stayed out.
Trey and Emma?
Yeah.
Oh, did you guys go? Did you guys go to that weird ass bar, the biker bar? Or?
Yeah.
Is that where that was? The one with the pit where that guy was playing?
Oh, we didn't go up. No. Yeah, the Eager. What is it?
Eager Beaver.
Oh, Rowdy Beaver. We
Rowdy
did go to that.
Beaver.
It's not that rowdy.
Yeah, one that rowdy. And then we went to another bar after that. We stayed out till 2 in the
We
morning.
did, yeah.
The casual Beaver.
It was a cool at the second place we went. There was a musical experience called Dance Monkey Dance, and he is a one-man band. He would,
Yeah,
and he was real. I thought it was good.
He's all right.
Okay, well,
Oh,
mixed on that as well.
It was fine.
Caleb has mixed reviews.
Yeah, yeah. I also, the other thing I'll just note, not about Eureka Springs, but definitely tied to my mom's death, I had the pleasure of discovering the biggest piece of shit I've ever known in my life. I got a text message from a guy
Oh, you're going to talk about this.
who knew my mom. And he knew my mom because his father and my mom were really good friends. My mom was an artist, and this guy was an artist, and they met in college. Anywho, this guy is also an artist, but he's an artist at being a piece of shit. He texted me, or he IM'd me on Instagram. We're not
maestro.
friends. We're not friends on Instagram. So you get an Instagram message from somebody you don't know it. You have to approve it or something before you can read it. And I opened up my Instagram to see this. It says, "Your mother passed away, and nobody let me know. What the fuck? Really? Clown emoji. Fuck you."
It's really weird.
And then he followed that up with a nice obit jerk off clown face. It actually took me a month before I saw it. I didn't even like, he sent it in February 5th. I didn't respond until March 6th. And then he said, "Unbelievable. I'm so disappointed and angry." And I couldn't, like, I've met this guy one time in my life, and that one time in my life was to help him because his father had passed away, and there was a big exhibition of his father's work at a studio, and I helped unload. I spent half a day tearing down the exhibition, loading up a truck, and helping him unload it. So I did, like, in the universal scheme of things, I did this guy a huge he owed me, and this is how he repaid me. So anyway, I just said, thinking, not knowing this guy and just being so dumbfounded at anybody would send a message like this, I just said, "Is this message a joke?" And he said, "Does it sound like a joke?" So I guess at that point I realized it wasn't a joke.
You should have said.
All the clown emojis, I thought maybe he's fooling around.
Yeah,
What a
it's
weird
very
tag is
strange.
a clown emoji. Like, is that to lessen the
I think he's
vitriol?
calling me a clown.
Oh, okay.
Is what he's.
Which is it's so fucked up. Everything about it's fucked up.
So he says, "Does it sound like a joke?" And I said, "It sounds like you need help." And then he blocked me. We weren't even friends, and he blocked me. So that's how that goes. And here's the worst part about it is I actually have a piece of his art, this giant, obnoxious painting. It's an oil painting on wood. It's probably 4 feet by 4 feet in dimension. It's been in my garage. I was going to hang it up down in my basement. It was in my mom's house.
Is that what you put on?
Yes.
Yeah, that is what I put on Facebook. I actually put a post out for somebody to come
It was
get it.
kind of a passive aggressive post.
It was.
I was hoping.
Did
I
you
was
want to throw this in the trash?
That was me kind of hoping that
He would
we have some
respond.
mutuals, and I was hoping one of the mutuals might recognize the work, and he might. Yeah, I was begging him to try and engage because I really wanted to have it out.
Okay.
And
Nothing better
nothing.
than an internet
Did you get
fight.
any?
yeah, I know.
Anybody
It was
reach
better
out-
that it didn't happen.
Anybody reach out to
Melody,
take-
somebody that Melody knows wants it, so it's going to stay in my garage for a while. But I wanted to set it on fire and send him pictures of that. That would be a really good.
So you're gonna give it to this person?
Yeah, we're gonna get. This person's gonna try. Actually, it's a person's brother wants it, and that person lives in New Jersey, so it's gonna fucking still be in
for
my
heaven's
garage
sake.
for God knows how long.
Forever. They're never gonna get rid of that person's not gonna.
Anyway,
Wow.
good to know that. Honestly, I'm glad I didn't ever contact that guy because that means that if that guy had come to this celebration of life, that he might have been nice to our faces, but I wouldn't have known he was a big piece of shit. Now I know.
It's like kind of
Your,
psychotic.
your aunt did
if
do
that's the right word.
the fun thing that usually reserved for actual family does, where she asked me when I was going to propose to Wes.
That's called I don't really know you well enough to talk about anything else. She doesn't know shit.
You
Why
know,
would she even talk to you about
I don't know.
I've known-
anything, much less
you know,
that?
I've known her a long time, but I haven't talked to her in a long time. And when she talks to me, it was awkwardly formal.
Hey, I just want to thank our little community. We got so much support in regard to this break. Not a single
did.
person gave us shit about it and wished us well and rest, and it was really good.
Our
And-
supporters are so nice and so kind.
Yeah.
Sincerely, I'm not being sarcastic
Yeah.
even at all.
Yeah.
Well, you guys don't know this. I got some messages on the
Uh-oh.
side.
Hey, fuck
Like,
you,
don't
clown
tell-
emoji.
There's clown emoji. There's a lot of clown emojis. I'm gonna keep. I mean, I promise to keep that all confidential. So
Okay. You didn't break the silence like I did.
right.
No, yeah, seriously, thank you, everybody. I do think this is something, I don't know if we should take this offline, that we should bake more of, like, some breaks in. Like, I don't know, like, I feel like a Netflix season is 8 to 10 episodes. Bake a short break, and not as long as this one, but bake a short break,
Aaron's
recharge.
making a move. Aaron's making a move for more hiatuses already. We're
I
back
just
to first
well,
episode.
I did just I accepted a new position at my job. I'm going to be on the road a lot more, so I'm worried about how that might impact this. But
Face down, ass up.
yeah. So we have 30 episodes.
If you didn't get it, that's a position joke. That's a sexual position.
Are you sure it
joke.
isn't a Two Live Crew reference?
Oh man, 2 Live Crew.
Is this the fuck shop we're in?
Sorry, go ahead.
I don't know. Thank you again to the community, to our peoples. We love you.
Absolutely. Sincerely. We do. I really do appreciate, and like everybody on, especially our Patreon people, were so nice of like, take care of yourselves. We appreciate you. We'll be back. We'll be here whenever you come back. And like, it really did mean a lot.
All right, we have 30 episodes of season 3 ahead of us, and then another 3 episodes of the Rebirth season 4. Yeah. And where we go from there, who knows? Ryan desperately trying to get us to consider Beast Wars.
I keep shoehorning it in. I may or may not have a comment about it in this episode.
I personally have very little interest. You're going to have to sell it.
You're going to have to lead it.
I think that once you start watching it, I don't have to sell it. I think that you will enjoy it.
You got to sell me to watch it then.
Well, we'll see where our Patreon is at that point. I'm like, hey, we're making $300
Well,
a month.
I guess with me, my interest has nowhere to go but up. From,
I have some comments on that later.
But this is season 3. This
I
is
know.
what you've been waiting for.
It is. I'm stoked. I am excited.
We're doing Scramble City today. We're going to do maybe a 2-episode movie arc with perhaps some special guests.
Stay tuned. It's going to be exciting.
Exciting additions to the show. And Ryan, this seems like as good a time as any. Why don't you mix, or better yet, scramble up a bunch of ingredients that combine into a greater whole, creating a gestalt of, if you will, of libacious satisfaction.
I'm glad you set me up because I actually do have this cocktail as a tie-in in the name. Here we go.
Okay.
Friends, it's a scrambly-ambly city, ain't it? So we're going to have the Brookie's Scramble cocktail.
Love it.
I can't find any information on the history or origin of this cocktail or who the shit Brookie is, so I just Googled Scramble cocktail, and this is what came up. This is 2 ounce or 60 mils of gin, 1 ounce, 30 mils of slow gin, 1 ounce of creme de cassis, and 1.5 ounces, 45 mils of lime juice. Shake with ice and strain over fresh ice, lime wedge, and wild violet garnish, which I got the violets from my yard.
These are,
So, enjoy. Did I piss on them? I don't know.
my sister's made jam out of like red buds in the yard and stuff like this.
Yeah,
before.
I talked to your sister actually last spring about that, and I made vinegar from
cool.
some wild violet vinegar. I talk to your sister all the time. Caleb.
Yeah, whatever.
Caleb, what's the verdict?
Oh, hold on. That's refreshing.
The audience demands it. We didn't cheers here.
Oh, we didn't.
Oh, cheers. A beautiful presentation, Ryan. I like how you use stuff out of your yard.
One of these days, there's going to be a chicken foot sticking up out of our
dog poop at the bottom.
Yeah. Oh.
These are my own notes. They didn't specify what type of ice, but
Oh, that's good.
I believe this style of cocktail benefits greatly from cracked ice. Not only is it pretty, but seeing how most of the cocktail is alcohol, being shaken makes it very cold and imparts some of the dilution there, but it's super easy to suck down very fast because it's a very good cocktail. And so the cracked ice will impart some more water dilution than larger ice cubes due to the smaller surface area. So I made this for Wes the other night, and she said it tastes like sweet tarts.
I can see that. I mean, a little more progressive, but
And I would say, honestly, if you want to even make it a lighter one, you could add soda water to it.
Yeah.
It would be very good.
Yeah.
it does have a 10 sorority girls around a punch bowl drinking it all up at once kind of vibe to it.
Yeah, but it's not. I like how it's not because it's not that sweet.
Well, that's what I was going to say.
is
The
good.
original recipe says dry cassis and adds a half ounce of simple syrup, but all I had was a sweeter cassis, like creme de cassis version. So I omitted the syrup, and I tried it with this, like adding a little bit of sweet because I thought it was a little tart, and it completely ruins it. And I like the tartness.
Yeah.
I think you
Yeah, I
want it
agree.
to be tart.
I feel like it's balanced.
Exactly.
I think
agree.
if I was to add some simple syrup or sweetness to this, I would literally freeze them for the deep summer so that I could have
Popsicles.
popsicles. I think they make a really good popsicle.
Yeah, if it would freeze.
Right.
We'll get it low
I'll
enough.
It's mostly booze.
Well, I'll just drink it then.
It would basically be, I guess, become a slush.
That's true.
Nothing wrong with
A
that.
like a smoothie.
A Mr. Misty.
Mm-hmm.
Remember them?
Right.
DQ days. Oh yeah. Oh, Caleb got the bonus There should be a. Oh, thank you. I'm getting a bonus too.
Yeah, this is the most exciting part when Ryan's got more drink to pass around.
There should be a word for like the extra stuff that's at the bottom of the shaker that, it's a little bonus.
The shakens.
The shakens.
Whenever we worked at the club, there was, there was something where it's like, or in bars where it's like, that the speed rail, like, the thing they put on top
the
of
rubber
it.
mat.
Yeah, the rubber mat where it just collects all the garbage, and then there was something about like straining it into a glass and drinking it at the end of the night.
That sounds disgusting.
Yeah, it does.
That's a lost bet right there.
We have to think of a good name for that. So
I thought there was a name for that.
There probably is.
I'll find it out and I'll make a name while we talk more.
Hey, we have some shouts out.
Let's do it.
Ryan, you already shouted out Michael Tremblett, who I'm still waiting for his booty box.
Sorry, Mike.
I checked just this week, actually, and still
So
shut
sorry.
down. But that gives you the opportunity to do a drawing.
Yep. He is owed one more drawing and one coming up pretty soon in the summer. And I also have one commission that I am going to be contacting that person soon that I'm working on.
You don't want to dox him?
Uh,
That's my second dox reference.
It's our friend Josh.
Oh, okay. There we go. Okay. First shout out is Sir Optimal Omega. This is a Apple Podcasts / iTunes shout out, by the way. The headline is Awesome Show. Very fun podcast. These guys are super relatable and hilarious. Sometimes I wish their episodes were longer.
Whoa, cool.
Yeah,
That's
he
nice.
hooked us up with 5 stars.
I wonder if he said that in response to people, sometimes saying that our episodes are too long.
Yeah, I'm wondering if
think
he's fucking
anybody's
with
ever
us.
Or if that was a coincidence, which I get. I get both. I get it. It's good. It's good feedback to get that. Okay, if you don't want to hear this shit that we've been talking about for the past 45 minutes, I get it. You want to skip ahead to the content. That's fine.
So there is. I agree. Like putting timestamps, we're doing that now, but nobody has ever said aside from that
true.
our episodes are too long.
It's true. So
I do find it hard to believe anybody would want our episodes to be longer, though.
I don't. I love hearing myself.
Yeah, but I think it's interesting after that we do get a review where they say that. And so I wonder if that was in response or if it's just a coincidence.
I just want to say thank you to Sir Optimal Omega.
Yeah.
I appreciate that you find us relatable and hilarious and that you took us the time to give us a review. I still think there's a little bit of a troll with that their episodes were longer thing. But
I don't know why
that's-
you were assuming evil intent.
Nah,
I should say I don't know.
Well, I don't mean evil intent, just like a wink.
Mm-hmm.
Just a little
Oh, I
like.
see.
Yeah.
you
All right.
know.
Well,
Anyway, we've got one more, and this comes from Mike from Louisville.
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 Oh, so this is. I thought we already
Kentucky?
read this review on the air.
No.
Oh, so this is. I'm
You're responding
responding
to-
about what you're getting ready to read.
Correct.
Okay, there you
That's
go.
cool. And the headline is Something's great, some not so much. And with the giggles over here. This is the only This It is. The copy reads, "This is really the only show I was able to find where they talk about the G1 Transformers series with the nerdy minutia I crave. In that respect, they kill it. However, I'm starting with earlier episodes, and there's a lot of meandering conversation at the top of the show. Sometimes going on for nearly an hour before they get into the actual episode
Don't know
recap.
what he's talking about.
That's fine if you're into that, but I wish they'd either do that stuff at the end or at least put a timestamp in the show notes indicating where the recap starts. Also, I don't drink, and talking about drinking kind of bores me, and they spend a lot of time chatting about whatever
That's fair.
cocktail they're making.
It's all true.
Sure.
It's all true.
And I just don't care. Again, to each their own, but I wish they'd include show notes where the recap
Yeah.
starts, and that's what I want, and they do that really well. I get that maybe I'm not the audience for this show, but I'm totally the audience for this show. So do with that what you will, I guess. So Ryan and Caleb and I do believe feedback is a gift, and the fact that we've bitched about some of the reviews we've gotten, but this is a perfect review.
This
Yeah.
is a perfect review.
Yeah.
The fact that he would give us this kind of review shows he's invested and he cares. So
It's constructive.
It's not our ego. It's not that our ego is challenged by a mediocre or bad review. It's about the feedback being low quality itself.
Yeah.
But this is good quality feedback. And like Ryan alluded to earlier, we are now implementing that. If anybody wants to volunteer some time and go back and timestamp all of our older episodes,
We need an intern.
that would be awesome. Opa, we would be forever gratitude. We could probably maybe hook a booty box up for somebody or something if somebody would be so kind as to, because that would be cool to go back and timestamp all the older ones.
Yeah, it
as
would
well.
actually.
But I'm not going to do it.
No, I'm not.
Yeah,
And
thank you, Mike.
This guy also
Oh yeah, good follow up.
sent an email later that was like, I feel like maybe I was being too harsh. I really do like the show, and I just was, he was very nice about it. He was like, I didn't mean to say that I didn't like the show. Again,
That's
constructive.
That is a
criticism.
good review.
Yeah, that's the cool
a
thing about the
constructive
APDC.
Review.
Even our haters have heart.
He's not a hater.
And because of that excellent feedback, we're going to do that
And
timestamp.
yeah, we're doing time
No,
now.
if I was in a lot of people's boat, like I listen to certain podcasts where I do I skip
I
ahead.
scrub through
Yeah.
stuff sometimes.
Yeah, for real.
We know it. We can't expect
It's hard to
everybody
scrub
be
our,
into
it's-
everything.
It is hard to scrub our stuff because we diverge so much. It's hard to sometimes know when we're really getting going on shit.
Yeah, what if we had to put a timestamp for every
No, God.
every
Start and
tangent
stop.
from the cartoon while we're in the cartoon?
Yeah.
And that's how I learned to do sounding in my penis.
I don't know what that is, but that was
sounding?
hilarious.
You don't know what sounding is?
No.
I feel like he knew we didn't know what sounding was, and then we'd be forced to say, "What's sounding?"
What's
And here we
what's
are.
sounding?
Sounding is whenever you put an object into your urethra.
Oh. Oh.
I love Caleb's reaction to this.
That was not a setup. It's just opportunity.
So, Mike from Louisville, not only have you given us great feedback, you've inspired our knowledge now that we have of sound.
Well, he's not going to even listen to this. He's skipping ahead.
Right.
He's like,
right.
fuck this shit. I'm going skipping ahead.
Well,
to
if
the
he
time.
listens to the show, he knows that we publish shouts out on iTunes reviews,
Yeah.
so he has to be waiting for it,
I don't. Maybe he's
Looking
like,
for it.
fuck that.
and then he'll skip.
He's like, scrub, scrub, scrub. Sounding, scrub, 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 scrub. Eureka Springs, magician. Yeah, scrub, scrub, scrub. Ghost. I don't know, magician. The guy was like a broke dick. He was.
he
was,
wore a top hat.
He was 2 steps away
wore
from
a
being a
top
magician. He was 2 steps away from being a magician. A bad
Holy
one.
fuck. Oh, God.
He made me want to disappear.
Yeah. He did. He successfully made most of the people on the tour disappear.
He really did.
Yeah. So bravo.
I feel
and he still made away with everybody's money.
I know, $20
Goddamn.
a head.
Also,
he made away with Ryan's
My
money.
money
Ryan
that I didn't even
show.
like he made $80 off me.
80?
No, 40.
$40.
That I didn't even show up for.
He made $80 off of me.
I'll say $80 off of me because my time was wasted, and my time is worth at least $20 an hour.
Sure. Fuck.
Okay, hey guys. First of all, thank you, Mike from Louisville.
Oh.
That's not the end of the shout out train because
That's right.
we got to talk about patrons.
It has been a while, and so we have a lot of built-up stuff.
Yeah, sorry about that, Mike from Louisville.
This whole episode might be that, and I might just leave once you start talking about Scrambled City.
It's true. Like Caleb has what?
About an hour and 10
An
minutes.
Here we go.
hour
We got
left.
this. Next up, we have longtime friend of the show, author, witty wordsmith, and lifelong Michael Bay defender, Michael Andrews.
Michael Motorcycle.
That's right. Michael Andrews, author, raconteur. I mean, he's been on. You guys
He's
know
great.
him. You guys know what he's all about. Check out Coming of Mage.
Mm-hmm.
Check out, what's the other thing he did? Coming of Mage 2, Electric Magic.
We can't. Electric magic.
The thing is, I would have more to say, but whenever a new patron joins, we typically send out just like a little Q&A. And the thing is, I guess we know about Michael Andrews, but I like to give them the opportunity to give us the perception we put out there for them.
Mm-hmm.
And he has refused to fill it out.
So.
I've sent him. I'm on a text message relationship with him. We text. I worked on a project with him. So I mean,
he just
we're
sent back a
we're cool.
picture of his middle finger.
Did he really?
No.
Oh. Bravo.
So shout out to Michael Andrews. If you ever fill out the form, maybe we'll hit this up again. So let's move on to Corey Sullivan. a kid of the 80s, like many of us who's been listening for years and finally decided to chuck us some shekels.
Yep.
Did you know a shekel is real money?
Yes.
Real Israeli money?
What do you think it was, like fake Jewish money somehow? like racist money?
I thought it was
slander.
Why does it have to bring racism into it? No, I just thought it was like a term for money that I didn't know it was like an actual money.
term for money.
Like in the same way you might say cheddar. Like, give me some of that cheddar. That you get that lettuce in your pocket. Like
That cabbage.
yeah.
That dough.
Yeah.
That De Niro.
Turns out that dough is currency as well.
Yeah.
Bakers just be trading in dough.
Just throwing dough at each other.
Anyway.
It's the same dough, though. If they're switching dough around, it'd be like trading.
Where is the value added
Like,
here?
it would be like trading bread.
Oh, well, that's another one.
Bro, shit.
NFDs. Non-fungible dough.
When Corey is not house hunting, he's thinking about the robots in disguise. And while he never stopped being interested in action figures, so many of us have that 20s break. You know what I'm saying?
Word.
Caleb had like a 7-year-old break. He's like, I'm done with these stupid robots.
Well, I just finally got to the point where I was, I got hair on my penis at that point.
On your penis?
On the head. It's really weird.
He's got a crew cut on his dickhead.
It looks like a dandelion.
Once that happened, I was like, well, I really can't focus on anything else at this point. It pretty much takes all my attention.
God damn it. This is already bad.
So anyway,
Corey got
is
back
what they-
into
Sorry,
Transformers.
Corey.
Corey got back into Transformers when the first Masterpiece Prime came out in 2003, and he hasn't dipped out since. My journey is actually kind of similar because that MPO1, I got one off eBay around 2005, and that's when I started kind of doing this adult collectible thing. Adult collectible always sounds like you're talking about
Collecting
dildos.
dead humans? Oh. Nothing.
And Corey is also famous for the 3 out of 5 stars wouldn't change a thing Apple podcast review. And when I pressed him on the source material for that, he did not reply.
Okay.
I love it.
All right.
I love it.
So that reference is for now a mystery.
I love
So
our
he's
friends.
when he's not house hunting. Is this something he does as a hobby?
I think he's just looking for a new house right now.
Oh, I thought maybe he just house hunts.
He may have found it by now. We've been on break. Corey, update us on the journey.
Are you still house hunting? Is it a thing that you just like to do? You're not really actually looking to buy. You just hunt houses.
Or is he hunting humans?
Well, I think that's partly part of his whole process of of targeting a victim, right? Where's he?
Are you glad?
Where's he live?
Are you glad we did this?
Is there like a number of like real estates missing within a certain certain place?
It'd be fun to see
Is
what
Corey
his Zillow
a
page
serial
looks like.
killer? Ryan,
Well, we might have something to talk about that at the end of this episode. in
that's
the
what I
real
thought.
world.
All right.
Finally,
Sorry, Corey. Sorry.
Corey, thank you for joining the community.
This
We
shout
hope you found a house.
as you expected.
Yeah. They are getting worse, I believe.
I think they're always bad.
Give us a 3 out of 5 stars.
He actually gave us 5 stars. His headline was just 3 out of 5
Yeah,
stars.
yeah.
Wouldn't change a
Yeah.
thing. Finally, I'm happy to announce we have another Brit Bonger that we've added to the APDC
True.
patron family. A person who will only be known to the public as James.
Love it.
And we've actually done quite a bit of correspondence with him. It's been a pleasure talking about life and toys, and he appreciates our information,
Yeah,
our
he's
humor with a U.
Been very engaging. It's been a lot of fun
that
talking
sounds
to him.
when they put it that way, it sounds like sophisticated.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like it's dry humor. It's like we're John
Humor.
Cleese.
Humor. Yeah.
Yeah. He appreciates the inappropriate, the casual day drinking, and a few minutes about Transformers per episode.
There you go. There you go.
At the time of joining up, James had covered 109 episodes since January, and I believe he's got to be caught up by now. So he's one of the handful of super marathon Iron Man.
Bingers.
Yeah, yeah. So we
It
salute
does
you
seem-
on that.
It's true. It does seem like a lot of the people who not only are patrons but like who find us are like they mainline it.
They find us
Like,
irresistible.
It's that evergreen content, baby.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which we appreciate and
Yeah.
thank you.
His love for the Transformers brand dates back to his old VHS of Dinobot Island. Did you have that right? Dinobot Island? You had a Dinobot VHS, right? Was it
I
Dinobot?
had SOS Dinobot.
And he broke from the brand up until about 2005. There was revealed the Shield times, and his collection is centered today around Masterpiece, like yours truly. And he's on the third-party bandwagon, Trail to Hell, along with me. And his favorite character is, I wrote Radimus Prime, but I'm pretty sure he said Rodimus Prime, who he controversially believes is a more productive leader despite dealing with self-doubt, lack of experience, and imposter syndrome. We'll shine a light on that.
We'll find out as we get into season 3.
Like I said, we've talked quite a bit to James, so at risk of doxing him, we do have one disagreement. We talked about third-party toys. I put Fans Toys as my number one toy company, and he listed his as Transform Element. And James, since you're not here to defend your position, I'm going to take this opportunity to say you're wrong.
You're bad, and you should feel bad.
Transform Element, to my experience, is a good company. Many people love their Optimus Prime. I replaced my MMC Mirage with their version of Mirage. And Sofubi Samurai, that's another name drop for us today, convinced me to buy the Deformation Seekers. Good product, materials, sculpt, but they need a little more history under their belt to take the throne from Fans Toys. And maybe a bit more paint. You guys into that conversation?
Yep.
Nope.
And also, one other thing, he has requested a review segment.
Of
the
what?
toy.
Toys. Or
that's
like
right.
or a mini episode
No,
type
he wants
of thing.
you to do
Right,
a
yeah.
side
A
episode,
side?
a side
Yeah.
quest.
I have talked to Sofubi Samurai and Mike Seibert about doing something like that, but we haven't done any organizing. But that could be fun if there's time.
We got to work that into the APDC litigation, our contracts.
Yeah.
Yeah, weren't you just saying you need to take a hiatus?
I know. I'm ready for hiatus
I'm
number
going to add a
2.
second podcast to my schedule.
Oh, one more thing.
Schedule.
James would like us to plug, I did a little research on this, he would like us to plug a volunteer network called Good Sam, which is a network of first responders. Are you familiar with this? Sorry,
no,
you said that with such enthusiasm.
Well, it might. You know what's weird? He's in the United Kingdom, right?
Yes.
So Good Sam here is. You go ahead and read that. I gotta.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm
Well,
sorry.
it does exist here. It seems it's limited, but it's a network of first responders, people that are trained specifically in cardiac emergencies, although it looks like they actually go beyond that as well. But CPR, life support, things like that. And once you sign up, if there's a cardiac emergency in your area,
They notify you.
they get notified and you can provide assistance until an ambulance arrives. So like I said, it's hard to tell like what it's definitely all over Great Britain, but the global distribution, I'm not really sure. But in the United States, it seems at least San Antonio is testing it. I don't know exactly how the business model works for this kind of stuff. And one other thing, he wants to make sure we shout out his long-suffering wife, Julia, who takes care of him when he's laid up, and she deals with his toy habit, and
Listen, we all
she's also
have-
stealing our cocktail recipes.
Oh, good. We all have long-suffering partners.
So, yeah. So why I said, oh yeah, is I own a camper, and in the United States, there's a Good Sam is like a club you can join to get discounts at like campgrounds.
A swingers club
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
outdoor enthusiasts.
So like you go to certain if you go to certain campgrounds and they have a Good Sam sign, you're gonna like definitely have like some key swapping that night, right?
Key Swap would be a good name for like a swingers network app.
but
thing.
for a
Good.
campers, like you would call it like something else. I don't even know what it would be like trailer swapping. You know,
That sounds.
I know. I'm trying to figure out something that sounds more with a little bit more
chime in at any time
Finesse.
once you get the one that's good in your head.
I will. So, but I'm still trying to think of that, like the name for the drink for those bar mats. You know, they call them a spill mat.
Oh.
You call it built to spill.
Good Lord. That was 20 minutes ago.
I know, but see, I've got that, and I've got the Good Sam thing in my head.
Secret of the Ooze.
Yeah. Let's not.
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
I'm working, but anyway, that's why I said, oh, Good Sam, because there's also a Good Sam.
Caleb's
RV thing.
doing the important work. on
That's
the
right.
podcast.
You think I sit over here doing nothing? I'm sitting over here like being
He's
like,
on his phone
okay.
adding value.
It's true.
I'm trying to figure out the perfect zinger.
So thank you to James, Corey, and Michael. We do truly appreciate you. And while I'm at it, thank you to all the patrons: Alpha Magnus, Deborah, Ernie, Jeff, Seibert, Jeremy, Bono, Michael T, Justin, Jonathan, Robinus, Daniel V, Sofubi Samurai, Chandler, J Soups, Maddie V, Nick, Ken, Moondog, and Alexis. thank you so much for your support.
Thank you.
And thank you for all the kind words while we were, just recharging a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I guess
back with the best episode that you could imagine.
It's true. It's true. I wonder if people are into this podcast, I assume most people are aware of and have seen
I wonder.
this to a degree.
I honestly wonder because it's such a weird, nebulous episode. I don't know if anybody knows about this. Like, I mean, obviously people know about this, but I don't know if casual Transformers fans know about this.
I'm sure casual people don't, but I assume we aren't dealing with the casuals.
It's true
in this
We'll
world.
see.
But last episode recap.
Let us know.
Swindle sold the screw-strewn viscera of his squad for some serious scratch. Boss Megs won the arm cannon contest and spooked the sand-shaded shark into reassembling the Sank set. However, Swindle let slide the cerebrum and the cerebellum of his turreted tank teammate Brawn, which somehow some secondary school students used for a science fair scheme. Roll out the duct tape. Whew.
Oh.
Now let's get sunny side up. No, maybe over easy. No, guys, let's get scrambled. On low heat with a bit of heavy cream, cracked black pepper, garlic salt, onion powder, and a hint of parsley as we cover Scramble City Mobilization. Animated by Toei and written by Toyohiro Ando.
Mm-hmm.
Before we get into the episode, I think there's a little bit of setup. And
Sure,
Ryan, tell me
absolutely.
if this gets too much into script deviations.
Go ahead.
But for those not in the know, Scramble City activation. Wait, is it activation or mobilization?
Mobilization.
Okay, whatever. It was not originally broadcast on television. It was definitely not broadcast in the United States. It
Nope.
wasn't even available in the United States until the 20-year Transformers the
20th
movie.
anniversary, yeah. DVD.
Correct. And even then, it was dubious because there was no audio provided for it.
Correct.
There was a fan review or commentary that was provided with that. So it's kind of a weird experience, but it's very well animated. And in Japan, it was made as at-home viewing experience, VHS, created to promote the new line of Scramble City Combiner toys and cassettes and action figures.
Yes. And I had a little bit of that in script deviations, but yeah, or in whatever. But yeah, it was not. There is some there's a lot of misinformation about this on the internet, but yeah, it was not meant to introduce the characters for the movie.
Right. Some people do think that.
Some people do, and because like Ratbat and Ultra Magnus are literally the only characters in this episode that are in the movie.
Technically Metroplex.
Well, not really.
They name drop
Metroplex
him, don't
isn't
they?
in the movie.
Don't they name drop him? Don't they say Transform Metroplex?
No.
They say Transform Autobot, but he is Autobot City.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like he is. Oh my God. I actually have this later in script deviation. I think spoilers. I listened back to our episode where we talked about Scramble City the first time.
Okay.
Episode 14.
Wow.
Way back
Damn.
So long
in
ago.
June of 2017.
Whew.
Damn.
We were so young and
I know,
impressionable,
still-
wide-eyed and
I may-
positive.
I'm still in my 30s.
I may have some clips from that episode that we're going to play.
Right now?
cool.
No.
Oh, I was
we'll
trying
get
to
there.
do a thing.
But yeah, so it is where we talk about whether Metroplex is Autobot City.
Well, I don't think he is. I think he's a part of.
He is supposed to be a part of, yeah.
But this probably throws some of that out the window.
Yeah.
According to Wikipedia and not TF Wiki, this episode is canon to the Japanese TV series, not the U.S. series,
Yeah.
which doesn't make sense to me because
No.
at this point and through the end of season 3, they're all one and the same in the Japanese series, so I don't know why it would be.
It's very
Not-
confusing. This episode is so confusing.
My favorite part of the episode is the opening theme song.
Yes, I've got that.
Oh, yeah.
You can get to that whenever. I'm just saying.
No,
it's-
yeah. No, it's
out
great.
the gate. It's like fuck yeah.
Yeah, no, I love it. It's epic. Either way, I mean, it's a very interesting footnote in animated G1 history. It gives us a glimmer of an idea of what it would be like if we saw characters from the year of the movie 2005, 2006 era slowly introduced to the characters that we knew from 85, 84. In the United States, Scrambled City never got a proper release. For some reason, Toei just refuses to license it outside
They
of
don't
Japan.
do it. They won't do it, man.
Well, like you said, and I had this note later, but like you said, the 20th anniversary DVD has Scramble City as the video, but there's no audio
Right.
but just like what?
because I guess they wouldn't license it. So
And other than that, there have been attempts by Shout Factory and others, but Toei isn't budging it. I don't understand why.
I don't know what the big deal is.
And I don't know that anybody really does, but it is very easy to find on YouTube. There is a version by a YouTuber or YouTube channel called Awesome Random Vids, and it's fan dubbed. And actually, they do very, very good proxies of the American voice cast. There's a high quality video uploaded by a YouTube channel called just Owls. AL''S. It's really good. Spoilers. This episode will end on a never-resolved cliffhanger, but there's at least one fan-made Scramble City 2 that can be found at a channel called Jaseur, Jaseur, that picks up where this one leaves off, and it has really good voice acting and original animation as well.
It does.
But yeah,
But we're not going to cover that.
right.
The version I went with, because I think it has the original subtitles.
Yes.
That's what I went with.
Yes.
It
And
was a different one than we covered last time. Like last time we went with a different video.
Very-
and this
Okay.
time we went with
I like the original. I want as original as possible.
Right.
And that's the version we found is great.
And there are some subtlety differences between that one and like the Awesome Random Vids. I think the Owls one. They did their own subtitles and they updated the character names. And that's going to be a thing that we'll probably touch on because some of the character names are different than we know them, at least as they were translated. Oh, I didn't say. Sorry, the version we're going with the OG subtitles is called Karyudo Fan Subs. So if you're interested, you can find that and follow along. Go ahead, Ryan.
Yes, you're right. Yeah, Transformers Scramble City Mobilization ENT subbed on Karyudo fan subs. Yes, that's what we're using. Last time we used a different one, which I don't think the subtitles were as accurate. So, yeah, probably everyone knows that Optimus Prime is known as Convoy. I did make notations when there was American names differentiating from the Japanese names as we go through this.
Me too, because those names are hilarious.
Some of them are weird.
Yeah.
About it.
Wake up. Transformer. Transformer.
I don't know why Japanese theme songs are so much better than American ones.
So there's a thing with there's a thing with Japanese theme songs that they really drive the emotionality like home. It's something with their culture, and I'm sure someone else could talk about it a lot better than I could.
I'm sure there's just a more poetic nature to their
they have-
culture.
for this specific song, they hired a lyricist, a composer, and a singer, like they would do any. But these lyricists are really they get an idea of the storyline, but then when they end up writing lyrics, they make them as poetic and they really drive the romance and the poetic nature of it home. The song itself. It's sung by a female singer named Satoko Shimonari.
And I couldn't tell. Is she also the lyricist?
No.
Okay.
There was a gentleman lyricist and a gentleman composer. I don't have their names here. You can find them online. TF Wiki's got information. And then if you go to the Japanese Wikipedia, and translate it. It's got information. You can't find her on English Wikipedia. There's not a whole lot about her. She's done various albums since the late 70s. She's in her 60s now. But she's just been a singer, and she's done like amateur competitions, professional competitions, singing. She's done some cartoons, not very many, and she was just hired for this. And so there was an album that came out where the A side was Transformer, and then the B side was Peace Again, which is another song. And then here's the album.
Oh wow!
I found the image. We'll post this.
That's really cool.
Yeah,
I love the hat.
Somebody has like the poster. Yeah, so there's like a publicity shot of her, and then the information on the album itself. You can find her on Spotify, but it doesn't have unfortunately not this song. It's something from another animated series that's only like a handful, like 5 years old. But her name again is Satoko Shimonari.
Yes,
and this song rocks.
It is really good. It's also interesting because it's very long. It's a minute long.
Yeah.
It sets you up.
So it's twice as long as the American version.
Yeah.
And I'm fairly certain this is the exact same music that was used for the Japanese season 1 and 2 broadcasts. So the difference being that I think the visuals they used for the title sequences were different. Somebody will correct that if I'm wrong, but I did look up some Japanese versions of like Roll for It and things like that, and I think it's the same theme song.
Yeah. This came out in September 21st, 1985 is when this came out as an EP.
Cool. Well, the title sequence itself, I mean, it's an interesting mashup because it kicks off with animation that was used for the U.S. Season 2 intro, what with Grimlock teeth biting down on the logo, but then it switches to a montage of clips. I think all of them are from More Than Meets the Eye Part 1.
Which will get...
Does that match up with does that match, does those dates match then if this came out in September of 85?
I think the cartoon...
This came out in April of 86.
Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, if it to the season 1 and 2, I think it probably does make sense because I think Japan got the cartoon after the United States did.
Okay, so so this is dropped. This is dropped in September '85, and I guess at that point, then they are playing that song as the introduction to
Correct.
the Japanese releases of G1 season both
1. I think one and
Okay.
2 for
All
both
right.
of them.
Okay.
And real quickly, I'll just read the English translation of the lyrics. Again, we've been sitting here saying, oh, that's so poetic, but you may not know because we're listening to the Japanese version. Although it is interesting to me how much English is in the lyrics.
If you notice in the subtitles, the English is always capitalized. Whenever
No, I
they
didn't.
show it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The lyrics, I'll try and read it poetically.
Oh,
Wake up. Awaken from your
Wake up!
Awaken from your golden slumber. Everyone's heart has a mysterious mind, and even though the color of life is only one and the same, break up. Break up. A desolate planet. The energy of the earth that is breaking is what they will devour, even if it means destroying the skies for us to fly. Transform. You can fight, Transformer. Reach out and touch the destiny of the universe that is twinkling. You can fight, Transformer. Those mysterious eyes that can change how they appear. Just burn it up. We hope the only world.
Oh.
Nice.
Yeah, not quite a haiku or a
No, it's much better than the very matter of fact, like Autobots seek to,
Right, yeah. It makes our raise the battle to destroy the evil forces of the Decepticons seem pretty elementary.
Yes.
Well, we're just a straightforward people.
Yes, that's true. No, that's true. It is true.
So-
I do like the subtitles throughout the. You can tell that kind of attitude towards writing actually extends into the lines that are written for Scramble City.
Yeah, actually, yes.
Yeah, it's same thing.
It's just just a very poetic, lots of metaphor, and
Yeah.
things like that. For the next 7+ minutes, we're treated to a recap of the Transformers to date, what they are, where they're from, what they do, their struggle for energy. It consists of clips from More Than Meets the Eye, and it makes me pretty nostalgic for how good the animation was in those early episodes.
Sure.
I have some notes about this. Just basically based on the subtitles. So they called the Autobots Cybertrons.
Cybertrons, yes.
I think that's consistent to this day.
And Destrons.
And Destrons are the Decepticons.
Because they destroy.
So yes, listener, the first 7 minutes, which is 30% of the episode, is taken from the pilot episode, and then there's also
There's a couple
from
sprinkles of some
the
other
Master
stuff.
Builders, where Devastator is introduced, and then there's a ton of talk about that.
We see lots of early battles on Cybertron, the space chase, the crash on Earth, but with anime sword clashy sound effects.
Yeah, the Constructicons are called Buildtrons and form Devastator. If this was your first introduction to the Transformers, I can't tell if this would be super confusing or an easy sum up.
Is there a good chance that this is the first exposure of many people to the Transformers?
I doubt it.
I can't imagine.
Yeah.
That's why
Because
it
they
makes
would
it
have bought
so
it on
weird.
videotape. They would have had
And
to
this
go
is
to
a
a store and
Japanese-
purchase this.
Beware, this is a Japanese audience.
Yes.
No, I think this was made for people who are into the Transformers to sell more toys.
Toys, but it's just so
Do
strange.
they need a recap like that then?
Yeah, I don't really
It doesn't. It really doesn't make sense to have a recap, other than maybe to pad it out to 30 minutes.
I guess they had like a link that they needed to fulfill. That's very strange.
Maybe it would have felt weird if the story that they put out there was only 25 or 20, because honestly, it's 23 minutes and 11 seconds, which is about what
It's an
a
average
general
episode.
episode is without commercials. And so, I mean, just subtract 7 minutes off of that. What do you got? 24?
No,
I don't know how to do
wait,
math.
Set 15.
Oh yeah, I somehow added time to the mix. So I think that's probably why they did it,
I guess it's.
so that it would be worth the purchase.
It doesn't. I will say this. This episode makes no sense from any perspective. I don't understand why it was created.
It seems like maybe they could have just finished the story, and then that could have padded out to 30 minutes.
So the question is, why go to this trouble for marketing?
Yeah,
Like why this angle for the marketing?
So, listeners, I guess we're going to be
Okay.
kind of light on the first 7 minutes, where it's just.
oh yeah, thank God.
Yeah,
It's
I
just
hope so.
the first. It's the pilot episode.
Hey, guess what? Did you guys know a spaceship crashed into a volcano,
Yeah,
and
4
4 million
million
years
years
later, a
later,
volcano
here we are.
erupts? A computer wakes up, revives everyone. They gives them Earth alt modes. Boom! You got robots in disguise, baby. The other scenes that they touch on: the Decepticons attack Spike and Sparkplug's rig. They remind us that Energon cubes used to be flat.
You can flatten them. Yep.
I do like reading the translation here because it puts it on a different spin, like more sophisticated subtitles.
Life regeneration device.
Yeah.
Launch. That's their word for
Sky Spy.
Sky Spy. Yeah.
So I like that, and that like I get to see how another culture, who's actually doing a lot of the animation anyway, and from which these toys are based, is presenting it when they talk about it. Narrative, like
Right.
the narrative is more sophisticated.
It is especially interesting because all of these toys were actually available in Japan under different brands way before the United States saw them, and U.S. creators made the lore that is now basically accepted by the Japanese and American audience. So
And
I'm
obviously,
sure that's interesting.
Since this is just a recap of the pilot, there's some pretty sweet transformation stuff, and the vehicles look really good.
I love the colors. I think
Yeah.
that, they. Maybe I didn't give it credit at the time, but More Than
Maybe.
Meets the Eye 1, 2, and 3 are excellently animated
Absolutely.
shows.
It's weird when we started. It's weird for us that we started with the movie, which is so.
It's the best of the
It's
best.
the best, and then it's been slowly, like over time, over the past 5 years, been degrading, and it's happened slow enough for us that you don't really, with some Toei exceptions, you don't really notice it.
Mm-hmm.
But then you come back and you're like, oh, that looks really nice. Of course, here we've flashed forward into what episode was this from?
I think
this
is
is the
season
Master
2.
Builder season 2. Yeah, we're at
Interesting.
about almost 6 minutes in, where we see the introduction of the Constructicons forming Devastator.
And I assume that they chose this out of all of them to remind us
Yes.
that Devastator exists.
Yes.
And can Convoy defeat the invincible giant Devastator? I don't know. That's just one cliffhanger here.
It is also another thing where I'm annoyed where they Devastator, we'll see in a second, comes in and is pretty much immediately defeated and then runs away. And to give way for new combiners. Also, we just saw, I forgot about that, the GIF where Devastator laughs and then shoots his laser, which is the GIF of like, ha ha ha, no.
I know that GIF.
I do too. Caleb, do you know that GIF?
Yes, of course. Ha 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 ha. No.
So we see, a little bit of Devastator slapping some planes around action, and the Cybertrons are in trouble. Can Convoy defeat Devastator? And the answer is we don't know, because he wrecks
and then we go to commercial.
The power tower, and then we get a title card, which is a very cool title card.
It is Scramble City, the mobilization.
I always like seeing the Transformers logo in the Japanese font.
Yeah, me too.
So we open up, the true open up. The Autobots have a secret underground factory nestled in the mountains, far from the humans. In a project titled Project Scramble City, we find that Ultra Magnus has been charged with building a base that is also a mobile fortress, that is also a production facility, and it's being used to edge out the Decepticon strength advantage that they have with Devastator, and they're going to use it to create Autobot combiner bots.
So in the canon, this is the first time we've ever seen Ultra Magnus, right?
Yes.
It would be the first time a Japanese person saw Ultra Magnus?
It's the first time anybody would, because this is April of '86.
Okay.
This predates the movie.
Okay.
Yes.
So they've taken have they taken that character from the people that are developing the movie?
Because yes, the movie has been in development since like the middle of season 2.
Okay.
Which was in '85. So they know Ultra Magnus.
Mind you, this came out. There is some conflict because the way they talk about these combiners kind of conflicts with the Vector Sigma storyline.
It does. Like the Aerobots, like they're just like, well, they're here now. We built these guys, and also it conflicts with Trypticon. Like Trypticon's in here. Spoilers. Trypticon comes at the end, and also there's a season 3 where they build Trypticon. So.
It's cool to see Ultra Magnus hang out with a young Spike and Carly.
The whole human
Chip.
crew is here.
Yeah.
You've got Chip and Carly, allegedly the first appearance of them together. Is that Sparkplug?
It is. It's the first. It's the first and only episode, and the last episode. First of all, this last episode we see Chip, and the only episode where we see Chip and Carly together, and the last episode we see Sparkplug.
Yeah.
Maybe this is where he died off camera
of a heart attack.
I wish they'd given anything to Chip and Sparkplug in season 3. That makes me sad.
Yeah.
Seems waste. It's like
fanfic alert. What if Daniel is really Chip Chase's son?
Reanimated. Get on it.
Do
it. There's a connection between Carly and Chip that just seems a little too spicy for television. The construction of this project is coming along. You've got, in addition to the humans we mentioned, you've got Bumblebee, Magnus, Grapple, and I thought this thing was being produced to make combiners, but you have the Protectobots. They're all alive, and they're working on the facility as well. So I wonder, did they build the Protectobots just to build Scramble City?
It seems like this episode exists out of time. Like it almost seems to just be on its own.
I will say the quality of the art is pretty good.
Oh, I completely agree. Like, especially the backgrounds and, like, the industrial animation is amazing. It looks fantastic.
We transition to the Decepticon undersea base. Decepticon sensors have detected some crazy magnetic field shit, so Megatron commands Soundwave's Cassetrons to go scope it out. Soundwave opens his chest and Ravage Laserbeak, and what? Ratbat pops out.
Boing,
or
boing.
Jaguar and Condor, as they're known.
They break the surface of the ocean, and out they go. This feels a little bit like a role reversal with what we'd normally see. You would normally see the Teletran 1 telling the Autobots there's some sort of disturbance. Unsure if it's Decepticon activity or not, but it's out there.
That's true.
And then Prime would send like Bumblebee as analogous to the tapes to check it out. Well, guess what? Those fucking Cassetrons discovered the underground base that was creating the energy waves. And we'll see the Cassetrons advance, but immediately they're going to take fire from the Autobots' own tape-based unit coming right out the broad teat of broadcast, a.k.a. Blaster.
Yes, he is known as a cassette bot.
I do like the animation, like the flourishes in sound and visual quality they do here.
I do too. I will also say this is a very action-packed episode. Like, it's all action, no story.
Pretty much, but I'm cool with that. It's done well.
The tapes are having a Donnybrook, fellas.
Oh.
But Ratbat manages to squeeze by Blaster and sees the whole Scramble City scene. Ryan, I know you have something to say about that.
No, we'll wait for it. But I will
It's already
say
happened.
This is pretty much the only part I have a clear memory of from the last time we talked about this, where Ratbat gets into the cave and finds a construction site.
But what does he fly through?
Well, on this translation, it says Ratbat infiltrates deep inside, but the one we watched before, says, which is immeasurably better, says Ratbat penetrates deep inside.
Oh, for Christ's sake.
Because I'm a 13-year-old boy. Hey, we will talk about that
Okay.
later. I have some stuff that we will talk about.
Later.
Okay, fine. Wow. All right.
Never mind.
I'm holding a bated breath.
Spoiler
Right.
alert.
You can't-
We have things to talk
you
about
can't
later.
possibly wait for it.
We go back to the bad guy hideout. Soundwave breaks down the whole situation. This thing is probably a battle fortress. Then Megatron sends the Constructicons and the Seekers to smash Scramble City.
Mm-hmm. It is weird. Like, the naming conventions are strange because I thought, like, okay, maybe only the new ones have English names, but no, because, like, here, Starscream, Skywarp, and Thundercracker have English names. So I don't understand why it's different, unless it's, I guess it must be licensing. I
Or
don't
just
know.
a translation error. I don't know.
Or just the Japanese prefer it that way.
Yeah.
They prefer it.
They have agency, one would assume. Meanwhile, back at the Autobots' volcano base. That's right, the volcano base. We have Optimus Prime and Teletran 1 monitoring the situation. He is not about to let Scramble City get poached. He and a group of shooters hit the streets to put an end to this dispute. A little bit of classic Coke, a little bit of new Coke. We got Jazz, Ironhide, Smokescreen, Trax, and Warpath.
Mm-hmm.
And they're rolling out.
Here we go.
But before they can get too far down the street, the Seekers engage the Autobots. The Autobots are pinned down. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say the transition, the Autobot and Decepticon transition symbols are interestingly different.
A little bit more defined.
Yeah,
seems.
with a little bit more flair.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's it.
I like how they made the decision that what existed just wasn't good enough.
Yes. Like, I guess that's fine.
Maybe that's their version of a vanity edit. Did you know? You did say the Constructicons are called Buildtrons.
Yep. And they form Destron.
Devstar.
Devistar, that's it, yeah.
So the Autobots are pinned down. Or I'm sorry, actually the Autobots pinned down the Seekers. Luckily, the Buildtrons are here and ready to form Devstar. And the camera pans up his mighty form as sparks of power surge through his circuits. Devistar is whooping the Autobots back bumpers in some very cool illustrated sequences.
It is pretty cool. Like, and I guess, I don't know if this is a negative of, like, sometimes in Japanese anime, there's an absence of, like, actual physical action as opposed to making things look really good, where, like, just one thing will move as opposed to a lot of things moving.
Right.
If you can understand what I'm saying.
I feel like sometimes they use sound effects to trick you into thinking things are moving that aren't.
Yeah, so, like, one arm will move and, like, it looks really good, but I'm like, oh, not a lot is occurring.
But it's
I
two
don't know.
frames.
I wouldn't say one is better than the other, but there is a lot of that in this where people don't really move as much as there is, like,
Right.
just straight up action of, like, lasers.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. Thanks, Caleb.
Thanks, Caleb. I feel like I gave you engagement on that.
You did. No.
Uh,
He was just like, yes.
Ultra Magnus is watching from a control room within Scramble City. Magnus commands the Airbot squadron to take off.
Airbots, go!
The Airbots take off and attack Devastator and the Seekers. Starscream curses. I think I missed He cursed
He does,
earlier.
he does.
He says "damn you" or "damn it" or
He
something.
does say "damn." Yeah.
He says motherfucker.
He says "cunt liquor," and that was weird.
They're cartoons are for adults in Japan, guys. It's just a cultural thing. You got to understand. The whole Destron attack squad retreats. By the way, it's a
Yeah, they run away. Super run away. The Seekers and the Constructicons run away.
There's just too much. They didn't even turn into Superion.
No, they're robots.
They just had
now.
to show up.
And then Megatron's mad.
Megatron's not
smacking
pleased.
Starscream around.
Yeah. Starscream wants to try again, but Megatron is going to instead show off his new Destron warriors, his Stuntron troops.
Should have done that in the first place.
I guess the Stunticons have their own base on land because there's a mountain passage that opens up and the Stuntron troops are off.
Yes.
In this episode, the Stunticons are said to have been built specifically in response to the aerial bots, which is dumb.
And it's the opposite of what happened in the Vector Sigma.
It is, because in the American season 2, they were built specifically.
To fight the Autobots.
The
Go
Stunticons
get
were
'em.
built, yes, to conquer like the fact that the Autobots had superiority over the road, which is also dumb.
Right. Because air power is always better than
Of
land
course
power.
it is. Yeah. I will say this: what this episode makes or lacks in clarity, coherence, and story, it makes up for in action.
Yes, I agree.
It is just wall to wall
Yeah.
Yeah.
shit going
It's
on.
it's a it's a series of escalation.
Yes,
This is
yes.
like it just keeps getting bigger and bigger.
One more build before we move on in regard to the creation of the Stunticons in relation to the Airbots. The Airbots, I assume, were created by Ultra Magnus in this base production facility that was secret up until 10 minutes ago.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
But so how could the
Destrons.
Destrons have created the Stunticons, or the Stuntrons rather,
In response.
in response when they just found out this thing exists?
It's all falling apart.
Optimus Prime, he knew these Stuntrons were coming because he's going to send out the Airbots to engage.
Can we?
Both sides of this war could just come together and celebrate their love of fake rock mountainside entrances.
It's true.
Zip-zap the Airbots fight the Stuntrons. The other Autobots arrive to hold the flat Earth down. The Airbots abandon the sky for some reason. Convoy commands the Airbots. Scramble power, full throttle.
Scramble.
And here we see the Airbots form Superion.
I haven't been
Nice.
specifically keeping track, but it does seem like as though everyone has to announce transform before they do so,
Sure.
which is irritating.
Well, that's a Japanese thing.
It is an aspect also of Beast Wars, which we will cover
Mm.
for sure, and everybody is very excited about the fact we'll cover that after. And that
Get
is
your
the
hands off
contract.
my knee.
But we'll get there.
Scramble power, full
There's
throttle.
a lot of Optimus Prime face.
Yeah, and later on in the episode, his face starts looking more like he's almost cross-eyed. Like later on, he just looks like something's wrong with him. I don't know. I can't put my finger on it, but I'll show you soon. Like he starts looking. Just look at it. I'll pause it, and you can tell me what he looks like. You can tell me the right thing
All
to
right.
say.
So here we go. This is where we learn about scramble power, I guess, or whatever.
I paused it at 1533 because I just thought the facial animation on, I can't remember the names of all the aerial bots, but this particular one that we see, the last one to rise up from the sky, looks really
I don't know.
interesting and weird.
It's not Silverbolt, so I don't know who it is, or
But-
Slingshot.
It is a cool transformational sequence.
It is. It looks cool.
And I'm going to say Superion, he kicks some serious sand in them Stuntrons' faces.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? They've got their own secret. They form Menasaur.
They do. Touche.
Which, you know what? The best part, you can always tell when a show is good by the fact you have to have a narrator tell you what's happening.
I found that interesting.
I think there was a narrator throughout the Japanese series, which is kind of interesting.
Again, I
It's
think
not interesting.
well,
It's
Brian,
the opposite of that.
I think it may be a cultural thing. But
No.
you know what? That's neither here nor there with how you feel about it. So I guess I shouldn't say you shouldn't feel that way because this is how they do it. You feel the way you feel. Okay.
It's not interesting
Okay.
because that means you have failed to let the characters tell you what is occurring.
It's true.
But sometimes the narrator is a character, like in The Big
But not here.
Lebowski.
Not here. It's not.
The Big Lebowski, that's like in 3 scenes. Here, it's just a narrator telling you what's happening because it's too
While it's
confusing
happening.
to understand. Okay,
You're
so
saying you're saying actually the narrator here is necessary because you don't know what's going on.
yes.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Or,
But the
am I
thing
wrong?
is, you do
Yeah.
know what's
To
going
go
on.
I
Big
can
Lebowski,
kind of-
am I
Well,
wrong?
there are.
No, you don't.
Well, I don't know. Okay, I don't know
Kinda.
I don't know where the narration ends and the actual dialogue begins.
'Cause there's no dialogue.
at some point. Like we're seeing on the screen transformation power form,
Mm-hmm.
which I guess is when you scramble your appendages around and come back together. I guess that's called power form.
Do the
Okay.
toys?
A narrator would help me
right.
understand that.
So I have
Yeah,
a question.
so,
I have a
which
legitimate
made me
question.
Oh, go ahead, Caleb.
So this is a marketing deal. They're rolling these things out. Can you actually do this with the toys?
Yes.
Yes.
You can move the appendages around,
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
even in the American ones.
Mm-hmm.
They're all the same toy. Yeah.
Ah, well, that's
Yeah.
why. But the American cartoons never mentioned the fact that that's a thing that can
No.
happen.
No.
Because it's fucking lame. That's why.
Yeah, because it's stupid.
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
Oh shit! I just insulted an entire culture.
I don't care.
No, you didn't insult the culture. I guess I just think it's a pretty interesting feature. But
It isn't.
Can you take? Can
It
you
is
take?
not an interesting feature.
Can you
at
take?
all.
Can you take parts from other combiners and add them? Can you in the cartoon here? They take one from one
Hey, spoilers.
Decepticon and add to an Autobot. Can you do that with the toys here?
Yes.
Yes.
I didn't know that. That's pretty interesting.
It's not.
God damn
I
it.
don't know what the benefit of that is as a marketing gimmick. It does seem pretty lame.
Yes.
The only thing that would make it
lame.
interesting, I guess, is if your parents had no understanding of what you wanted and you got 5 random combiner bots from different teams, so you could at least form
Yeah, I
one
don't
big character, but
understand.
Customizable.
but he's made up of all the different.
It's pretty cool. It's customizable. You can create your own.
Caleb's
Well, I'll
a
tell you-
Mark S. Mark.
I thought it was a trick ass trick.
Yeah, you guys are fuck ass fucks.
But they did continue that that idea of any arm can be any leg or on any bot in the modern incarnations in
The way
Combiner
they,
Wars
but the way
series.
they did that was interesting.
Why?
Well, no, because like in the books, like it made it like a different. The Gestalts.
I see.
Made it into a different person.
Yeah,
But that's the whole.
they-
This is the whole thing, right? You can scramble them around, right? That's the whole.
That's the whole thing.
That's the whole thing. That's the reason this exists,
Yeah.
right?
It feels like a pretty low end gimmick to create a whole cartoon around.
They thought it was pretty cool.
Direct to video.
So yeah, so to catch everyone up who hasn't watched,
We're in
this,
power form right now.
We're in power form. The point is that these Gestalts like can scramble their body parts around, even though, as I'll touch on later, the animation does not portray that because it's incorrect. Like it doesn't show they recombine into. And I mentioned this on numerous occasions.
There.
Like, I hate this fact of like Japanese shows of like everything has to be power upped of like, oh, the Power Rangers.
Right.
Now we're in a Megazord. Oh, now we're in the Power Zord. Now we have a sword.
I
I'm like,
think-
why do we have to do these incremental
For
versions?
money. We have
No,
to do it for money.
Not necessarily. I argue that you can trace that whole thing back through Godzilla, the dropping of the atomic bombs in World War II.
In what way?
It's a huge crisis, a huge weapon. It's a weapon that's manifested in this enormous threat, whether it is like a giant explosion, or like say a giant like tsunami. It's like these giant forces of nature or human created event, and so
You should write theme songs to Japanese television shows. This is deep.
I mean, I always thought that those like the mega mindset in Japanese pop culture and in science fiction can be traced back to basically the dropping of the atomic bomb.
But what does that have to do with like just bring it all already? Like, why do we have to do these incremental stupid steps?
I don't. Well, look at Voltron. Look at Godzilla.
Exactly,
but
it's dumb.
But Voltron's not like.
Yeah,
Voltron's not
sure.
decombining. The yellow
it's
lion
dumb.
leg isn't flying up to the torso
Fair,
and becoming an arm.
Fair, maybe it's dumb, but why is it? It's a recurring theme
I guess
in their
you're right.
in their pop
I guess
culture.
You're right. It's a
So
different-
regardless
it's a
of
cultural
I still don't
thing.
know what the theme
regardless of
I
what
don't
if it's
understand
I don't
the
know
theme
what the-
either.
so it's
the only theme I
curious to
see
explore
is
why.
big robots that are big creatures.
So
big
I'm gonna have to look into this because big, huge, even Transformers that stems from that cultural thing of these of giant. Look at Gundam. Look at Voltron.
Yeah, I don't
look at
understand
all
that
this
either.
stuff.
I still don't understand.
Where does that stem from? And it's a
connection
popular
between
thing.
Scrambling.
Shit, there's even like a cartoon out there called Titans where
No.
there's these giant people.
I understand what you're saying.
So it's all about
I'm
big.
still saying I don't like it,
That's fine.
and I think it's silly.
I'm fascinated by it from a cultural standpoint.
Sure,
I think we're arguing different points here.
I think so too.
Okay.
But Caleb, I think you had something you wanted to say about Optimus Prime at the 1646 mark.
Oh yeah, he looks touched right now.
Really? I thought
Yeah.
it was a pretty cool picture.
Yeah, I do
I don't know, his eyes
That
look
was
bent.
awesome.
Looks like someone's punched him in the nose. And
It
his
does.
eyes are bent in, kind of looking.
The shading covers up the fact that it is a bit of an awkward drawing from
his
a
face looks dented
modeling standpoint.
in. Yeah.
So to
But
catch
anyway,
people up,
to sum up, they've scrambled their arms and legs, and apparently that makes them more powerful, and it's called power form.
even though they're the same arms and legs completely.
Well, because of animation errors.
Exactly.
Right. And I guess it does something, but it turns out Menasaur can also scramble, and that's where Optimus Prime says they have the same technology.
Yes, they have the same technology.
Which they must have developed very quickly since they just spied on this and discovered the technology. But, there's some more fighting. Menasaur, Superion, they're, punching each other, swinging each other around. As Menasaur reaches back to punch Superion, he tries to do an even fancier move. One level. Oh, shit.
Which is attack form. They went from regular form to power form to attack form, all looking the same.
Because of animation errors.
But even without animation error, how different could it have been? Like,
Not very. But it's so confusing to us, but it's also confusing to the characters because the
Yes.
characters decided, okay, we're going to go into attack mode, which is another scrambling of their arms, and they don't even have it straight, and it causes the two legs to forget which leg they were supposed to be, and they bonk into each other, which gives Menasaur an open opportunity to fire his arm at Superion, which connects with the leg, and then everything's all fucked.
yeah, it appear. Okay, so yeah, Superion's trying to reconform whatever, and then I guess it's I don't remember the six-wheeled guy's name.
Six wheel. Are you talking about Motormaster?
The drag strip
Oh yeah.
connects to Superion's leg.
But it's not drag strip though. Drag strip is normally
It's
on
supposed to
that
be drag
arm,
strip,
but it isn't drag strip.
No, because this movie or this episode's stupid.
It's Wild Rider that actually is the one that connects.
Yeah, so it connects to Superion's right leg, and then it fucks Superion all up. So this is the introduction of like the fact that this is Scramble City, so that different combiners can connect to different other combiners. But then also, why wouldn't the Autobot just be like, okay, well then Slingshot or whoever
should have just flown into
Menasaur's
Menasaur's
shoulder?
Yeah, it's a good point.
And then Prime's like, Ultra Magnus is Scramble City, still not ready to mobilize.
Yeah.
Ultra Magnus is like, I can't deal with that.
It is
Basically.
actually true. Superion's in big trouble. He's taking hooks from
I hope that
Menasaur.
this makes sense to anybody who hasn't seen this. I don't know if we're making this.
Yeah. Prime radios Ultra Magnus. He's like, where's this Scramble City situation? Which we don't understand what he means by that, because we think Scramble City's been unveiled in the form of these combiners, but it's not ready to mobilize. Prime and the Autobots then they just rush and fire on Superion's Wild Rider kneecap, which causes the appendage to separate from the torso. Firebolt reattaches, and Superion gets a second wind. But then Superion takes heavy fire from who? Vortex
Oh my.
and his fellow Combatron troops.
It's an escalation.
They get right into Bruticus mode. And now we have 2 Decepticon combiners ready to finish off the Autobots. By the way, I didn't know that space shuttles had bombs. Apparently,
Not a space shuttle.
not a space shuttle.
Mm.
Apparently.
I will say, just toy-wise, Superion may be the worst combiner toy, like the G1 version. He looks like he has a wasting disease.
In toy mode, you mean?
Yeah, like he's terrible. Like I don't know if you've seen the G1 Superion. He looks spindly and like he has polio.
Very sad.
Thought that would be a bigger laugh for that joke.
Well,
but,
you know, polio joke. Nobody has polio, so you're not putting anybody down. You got to put somebody down for me to laugh.
Oh, okay.
Bruticus, Decepticon combiners, fighting the Autobots inside the mountains.
an actual interesting combiner group.
Well, we do like the characters. They are the best developed characters. I don't know. The Menasaur.
No.
Actually, all the combiners are pretty well. We just don't like them all. You know what I mean? Like,
I would
actually, the aerial bots
agree.
don't have very defined characters among
Except
them,
for-
just as a group, except for Silverbolt.
Well,
You basically have Silverbolt, and everybody else is a piece of shit.
and Slingshot. Silverbolt and Slingshot. Slingshot's an asshole, and Silverbolt's like, I'm a good. Like, everybody, come on.
But everybody else on the team likes Slingshot better. So when he's an asshole, they're all like, yeah. Fuck the Autobots.
Yeah, but they're terrible overall. But the Combaticons are actually interesting.
Yes. Maybe because they have accents. I don't know.
I just feel like they're more interesting, and they do more interesting things. I don't know. Like the Stunticons don't do shit,
Yeah.
and they're not interesting.
Scramble City is
Here
ready.
we go.
The city rises on a giant platform as a mountaintop platform opens up. Revealing
that's the
the-
top of the
I didn't have
volcano.
my thesaurus.
But it's not the top of the volcano. This is a plateau. It is not the Autobot
I think it's a
because they said that this is in a faraway
No,
place from
yeah,
humanity.
It's not the volcano.
Oh, okay. I like how
But
it
it is
rolls.
funny
I like
that-
how it rolls forward and like magically kind of rolls through the top
like,
of the mountain.
I made that note too. Like
Yeah,
it
it's like,
doesn't.
okay.
Well, so is Metroplex.
This is not just a super futuristic city made with the best of Autobot technology. It's also a mobile fortress.
They actually built something that works.
Ultra Magnus releases the newest Autobot allies, the Protectobots, into battle as the mobile fortress rolls to the scene, crushing all the rocks and trees in its path.
Yeah, that
and
was kind of
this
weird.
transformation of Metroplex and like is pretty awesome. Like
When you could buy the Protectobots, could you put them inside Fortress Maximus?
you mean Metroplex?
Metroplex? What's Fortress
I think
Maximus?
so, yeah.
Fortress
I think
Maximus is a different fortress.
Oh, okay. Could
I
you-
do believe the Protectobots do connect to Metroplex to create an extended city, or at least the main
could, like,
the
stick-
main
yeah, the part of
Protectobot
it.
character connects
it,
to
got it.
Metroplex.
Cool. I still gotta call you guys out on this whole idea of like the things get escalated and bigger. It's a Japanese thing where they're coping with the trauma of World War II. This is all an extension of them coping with
You're just
the.
making that up.
I am certainly not making that up.
You mean they're coping with the trauma of having atomic bombs dropped on them?
Yes.
How could that be?
I mean, but also like the firebombing of Tokyo killed way more people than any of the bombs.
Sure. Yes. I'm just
I
saying
think the Battle
that,
of Dresden killed more people than it has
Absolutely.
as well.
Yes.
Way
Yes.
more.
Yes.
Thanks,
yeah.
Kurt Vonnegut.
Yeah,
But I'm just
conventional
saying that
bombing killed so many more
the
people than
representation
atomic
of
bombs.
large creatures in pop culture that are antagonists is a representation of them trying to cope, make something tangible that was
understand-
intangible.
I don't understand how it connects to being an idiot of like, oh, we're going to fight until, oh, this didn't work. Let's get a bigger guy. Oh, that didn't work. Let's get a bigger guy. Why not just bring out the biggest guy?
All right.
Why not bring the atomic bomb?
Well, that's because this is about coping with the trauma of
I
the
think you're
atomic
completely
bomb.
wrong.
No, I'm not. I'm not wrong. I challenge you. To check it out.
Listeners, look
even if
forward
you're
to
not-
Caleb's video essay. I get how Godzilla is because Godzilla
Godzilla was
is
made from
literally
atomic energy,
created
yes.
from nuclear energy.
Yes, but Godzilla's a big fucking monster.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe you know who the expert might be on this? Brian Safubi Samurai.
That's true. That's
I'm sorry. Let's go ahead and continue where we lead to the end of this, where there's a
can't wait
giant
until we get-
lizard robot that comes out of the ocean.
That's true. We do end with a kaiju monster.
Yeah, no kidding. That was really the time to bring this up.
It's true. I'm sorry, Caleb. I was not trying to be a jerk
No, it's
to
fine.
you.
I'm fine.
And
It's okay.
I also want to say Ken Bockelman might have something to say about this as well. Another Godzilla.
I totally invite.
Godzilla's
I totally invite our listeners to chime in and
I love how
Tell-
we've
tell-
just completely gone back into being so abrasive to each other.
It was really nice being nice to each other during the break. But now that that's over, the Protectobots show up, sort of.
But
They
they
get
don't
short,
do anything.
They get short shrift in every piece of media.
They do.
It's true. In the
Pre-season
Protectobots,
3.
like, well, Aaron said, they're dumb because all they do is rescue people. That's on the record. But they're my favorite Autobot combiner so far. So yeah, but they show
But
up
why? There's no personality for you to be connected to.
not like Superion. But yeah, they show up and literally do nothing.
They just
don't-
get it. They just combine
They
so that you
combine
can
and
see
fight
them.
Nobody.
They don't help. They don't do anything. Meanwhile, Superion's getting double teamed by Bruticus and Menasaur. They being the Airbots or whatever they're called right now, get transform and escape as the Decepticon combiners make their way towards Optimus Prime. They see directly in front of them a giant robot who shall remain unnamed, but we know as Defensor. So they do introduce Defensor with some kind of.
They do, but he doesn't do anything.
But then you never see him again because the ground shakes and rumbles. Even more concerning than Defensor to the Deceptigiants is a huge, more mobile fortress rolling directly towards them from the horizon. It transforms off-screen from its battle station mode into the super colossal robot Metroflex.
I wish they would have showed it
Metroflex.
transforming.
And look at that snatched waist.
Yeah,
He's been working out.
man.
Snatched waist.
Yeah.
Look at all that trauma from World War II.
The blast from its cannons disabled the Decepticon combiners. And basically that's it. Ultramagnet. We don't even see the Decepticons retreat.
Nope. You
Ultra-
did a truly excellent job.
The Ultra Magnus is
Optimus said.
actually, I guess they didn't retreat at this point. They're still hanging out, but the Autobots feel like the job is done because Ultra Magnus is congratulated by Optimus Prime. Origato, Metroflex. But wait, from the ocean, the smoke rises.
Mm-hmm.
The sea splits open, and what
God
arises
damn it.
but a Destron super robot dinosaur.
Dinosaur
Dinosaur.
Are you astounded, convoy? Dinosaur versus Metroflex. A new battle is about to begin.
And I will say the roar that Triptychon Dinosaur lets out here is from a kaiju Baragon in the Godzilla film series. So
That's a very obvious homage, even the way he rises
absolutely.
from the ocean. But what you would say is, why didn't they just bring him out to begin with?
I would. And there's no follow-up to this, and we're left with Fortress Battle Blue Balls.
You know why they didn't bring him out to begin with?
why?
It's coping from World War II.
I think it was. It was like the trauma from World War II.
You guys are going to eat your words. You guys think I'm so wrong, but I'm so right.
I don't know that you're
I don't
wrong.
understand the. I don't understand
I
the
just don't know
correlation
anything.
you're playing with.
Well, especially since we started by, I feel like you're arguing about the cultural draw towards bigness.
Yes.
Well, but the whole
What
argument
we're
started
saying
with the scrambling situation
is
and
like
why did that have to
escalation.
happen. And then also Ryan's got a sub point about escalation. My problem is scrambling. Your problem, Caleb, is bigness. Ryan's
Scrambling-
problem is escalation.
My scrambling thing. I was curious about scrambling. No, the scrambling has nothing to do with my comments about the escalation.
Well,
of
so
World
it's
War II.
helpful.
This argument
I'm
is the
confused.
worst.
Yeah, I'm sorry. No,
This argument is scrambled.
The scrambling thing I thought was interesting. You think it's dumb. The
Yes,
atomic
that's
thing
true.
is separate from the scrambling thing, and I think that's interesting. And you also think that's dumb.
I don't know how.
There's no atomic thing.
There is a total atomic thing
He
going on
thinks
here.
everything is atomic at this
No,
point.
I don't. I think the escalation of things getting bigger and bigger, and the manifestation of things that are big here is making something that they're taking their trauma and they're making something big so that they can cope with the trauma of nuclear war, of atomic explosions. They're taking their trauma and they're taking that and turning it into something tangible, which is a large being
that's
that
Godzilla.
they can defeat. That it's Godzilla.
I understand.
It's Gundam.
What
It's
I
Voltron.
feel
It's
like you're not hearing what I'm saying.
You forgot Robotech.
it's Robotech.
I feel like you're not hearing the fact that why the steps? Why not? If Godzilla, okay, Godzilla is
Well, from
the
a
threat.
narrative standpoint, I think why the steps is you have this
I
big thing.
understand
Oh
why
my
the-
God! Now we have to make the next big thing.
I understand. What I'm saying is, if Godzilla is the ultimate threat, this is the atomic threat, why are we going through the steps of
what's
we're
more-
making a robot? And now we're making a bigger robot.
Oh,
why not
why the
just go to
escalation?
the end?
Well, that's not as interesting from a narrative standpoint.
I know. That's what
but-
I'm saying.
But also,
I'm just saying that's why
Also,
things
how
are
do you-
big.
how do?
oh my God, that was so. Not
This is
what
a
I
very
was even asking.
But
I'm sorry to make you mad.
to Ryan, I think though maybe to Caleb's point, and maybe also just you can't just make the biggest thing ever, and then it's the biggest thing ever that ever was.
Unless
but
maybe it's bad storytelling.
You're gonna keep making bigger things and selling more of them robots.
Yeah, I know. So the answer is yes. Sell toys. I guess
Maybe.
yes. The answer is sell toys.
But
You
when
gotta-
you have a bigger thing, you
I
gotta
like-
get a bigger thing to defeat
If
it.
you escalate, you establish perspective.
That's true.
Not really in this story though.
Kind of, yeah.
I mean, actually,
like,
that's
wow.
totally what happened.
Yeah, it's like, wow, that's really
actually the
big.
point of the
compared to
story.
this thing that I thought was really big. That's even bigger. Fuck, that's really big.
I'm still
It's-
not on
that's-
board with how this connects to nuclear
To atomic?
annihilation.
Yeah, I
but
don't agree either. But
That's fine.
I just think. I guess I think this is. Fucking,
I don't disagree. I
think-
do think there's probably a connection to Godzilla that big things. 'Cause
sure,
Who else
sure.
culturally had big behemoths? I guess how big is a golem? That's like a big mythological thing,
I don't
right?
think they're that big. They're just big humans.
More on this later.
I guess I just find this shit boring. I
and
find,
I'm
I
sure that
find
this argument is boring to the
I-
listener. At this
probably.
point.
I find incremental escalation of power fucking boring.
The hearts of two, echoing from beyond a shooting star. Their planet is now a dangerous zone. Give me now peace again. Please, at least, throw away your sadness into the burning cosmos. Those who were born to fight. The Transformers.
I am glad you read that because that will lead into something I have to do.
What's that? What's that?
Well, guys, we talked about. We're at the end of the episode, by the way.
Yes. A new battle is about to begin.
It doesn't begin. It never doesn't end.
Go check out Scramble City 2 on YouTube, and you might see
Go
that
watch the
a
stop
fan
motion.
fiction ending. Oh well, there is. Okay, so yeah, we didn't even mention that earlier. There's Scramble City 2, which is also
sorry, Caleb.
basically a stop motion version of this. Why it's called Scramble City 2 and why they put Galvatron in it from a narrative standpoint is unknown. But that exists. But then there is a fan-made Scramble City 2 that picks up where this leaves off.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan, please continue.
All right, guys. we talked about this episode, this Scramble City episode, way, way, way back in June of 2017. Episode number 14, A Tale of Two Cities. So we were just little podcast babies.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, I'll say I wasn't. So when we talked about it, it wasn't supposed to be a review of this episode. It was just like at the end of our minute, and we were expanding our discussion as to whether Autobot City was meant to be Metroplex.
That's right.
So in that vein, I suppose I can forgive us for the fact we didn't really describe what happened, like literally at all. In Scramble City, we just talked about how much we.
I was wondering about that. I couldn't remember how much we broke down.
We didn't
the
do it at
episode.
all.
But yet we watched it enough that there was a commentary about Ratbat flying into the vagina cave, and
Oh, that'll come up.
yeah.
That is all I remembered about it. Like, yeah. So we just, talked about our confused reactions to it. So if you haven't seen it, which I'm guessing few have, our discussion made even less sense than it was in that episode. To a few of our earlier episodes is that Caleb, and unfortunately he's taking a piss, so I'm going to need to wait for him to come back.
Okay, that's fine. Here, I'll talk about the fact that a thing exists. It's the Scramble City board game.
Oh, tell me.
You can get it on eBay for, let's
What
see.
is the Scramble City board game?
You can buy the Takara Transformers Scramble City strategy board game, not complete, on eBay for $129.99. It's really cool. Box art, homaged by homaging this episode. You got Metroplex, you got Trypticon, great painting up front. I don't know how to play it or what it is, but if you go to this site I'm looking at, you'll find that there's only tiny scuffs from normal use, and it's missing one sheet card. If anybody knows about the Scramble City strategy board game, hit us up. We'll talk about it.
So, interesting thing I found about listening back to our earlier episode was that Caleb had like a certain childlike glee, almost like he's actually engaged and not wanting to consume free booze and just scamper out
Yeah.
at the end of the clock so he can go home.
Yeah, I got to leave pretty soon.
Caleb's become a grizzled veteran. So Caleb calls Scramble City a pissing contest, which accurate.
When did I say that?
I'm talking about episode 14.
Oh, yeah, it's a pissing contest.
When we reviewed this the first time. We do mention that the video of Scramble City is on the 20th anniversary movie, and there's no audio. Now, I have a special treat for everyone. I want to play some audio from our episode 14.
Okay.
This first clip is me talking about Ratbat gaining access to the Autobot base through the cave.
Do it. I will say a pissing contest is an escalation. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
16-minute episode. Ratbat flies into the cave, into Autobot City. Ratbat, he is straight flying into a pussy. It looks like a pussy. It is
I'll have to go
an
back and look at
expanding vagina, like it's a speculum has been rammed in there.
Speculum
Rammed?
in there.
That's right. That's
Why
right.
do
That's how
people
we're
listen to
raised.
us?
I know. The
I
OBGYNs
thought
out
we
there.
were gonna get through one fucking episode. We're so close.
Well, and after that, it says Ratbat intruded deep inside.
I was hoping we would get through this
Nope.
episode without Ryan's
Hopes
having,
failed.
My uncomfortables.
The uncomfortable.
No, I had one more.
I like
the
that.
end credits. Did you read?
That was all I wanted to do. I enjoyed that part.
Just to highlight some of your shenanigans.
Mhm.
Very
Oh,
good.
oh,
Nothing
nope.
egotistical about that at all.
No,
Well-
it's fine. I'd forgotten all about that. It's such a long time ago.
There was one more bit, just because, Aaron, you read the subtitles from the end credits of this episode. Here is what... We watched a different version, and here are the...
Oh, is it a very different translation?
The English translation on the Japanese lyrics.
That's right. Okay. Vibrations that echo from where the shooting star departs. The star is here now.
Yes.
Give me no peace again. KNOW. You are now crushing me. Please throw away the sorrow in the crushing sky. You who were born to fight. Transformer.
That's very different
Yep.
tonally from what
Yep.
we just saw.
So,
What
yeah.
is correct? How do
well,
we even talk to people from Japan?
So, yeah, that was the original one we watched the first time.
Okay.
And also, like, I'm sorry I was so mature. A speculum ram inside a pussy. It should have been like some like sugar honey walls.
Whenever I hear shit like that, it makes me think about that reviewer that's like, after 28 episodes, I'm out. I would think like,
I know.
I can't believe
I'm
they
like,
got
that was
past the
episode
speculum.
yeah, I'm like,
that was episode 14.
yeah, I'm like,
How did they get
you
past the speculum?
Yeah, you made it past that one. Shame on you.
Yeah,
that's
actually,
not on us.
I know. I'm empathizing with that listener right now.
Well,
Oh,
but they
really?
should have been out.
But I also like where
they
you
should
were
have been
going.
out at that point.
Right, and you guys missed the joke. I want to acknowledge it. Ryan's like, I'm sorry for my immaturity. I should have called it sugar walls.
Yeah.
As opposed.
Thank you.
The old velvet gold mine.
Then
as
it would
they
have been
call it.
just fine.
It actually only works because after the joke, I said speculum rammed inside, which was a complete, like, I just made that up on the spot, but you go speculum rammed inside, which makes it so much funnier.
We were, hey.
Those were the days.
We're fucking funny.
You're not wrong.
I did not cover any of the voice actors because that would
I got
just
one.
be ridiculous.
Oh, you do?
Yep, I got.
I'm
one.
glad you didn't leave yet.
I gotta leave pretty fucking
your
soon.
kid.
I know. We're right at the end.
After this, I'm gonna leave, and you guys can deal with it.
Okay.
So
Caleb has to pick up his
the voice of Optimus Prime or whatever he's called in this one,
Convoy.
is Tessho Genda. Tessho Genda is in Japan is a famous voice actor, and he did Optimus. He's also well known for a lot of characters, but he's best known for being the official voiceover actor for Arnold Schwarzenegger. So if you watch a Japanese movie that's been dubbed
Oh, okay.
for Schwarzenegger, it's him. And
Wow.
you hear him talk, you're like, yeah, he can do a good, he's got a very low voice, bravado, but he's done a lot of stuff, and he's done a lot of action heroes, and then also a lot of anime where there's a character that has a deep booming voice. It's him. Or likely it's him. His name is Tessho Genda.
When he does Arnold Schwarzenegger, I wonder if he does it with an Austrian accent.
It's a good question if he places any kind of emphasis on it. Yeah, I don't know. Here he is with Arnold.
I'll be damned.
Right there. He's a well-known guy, not only in animated voice acting, but also doing like voiceovers or dubbing. Yeah, Tessho Genda. So there you go. There's your voice. There's your voice actor for this, Tessho Genda.
Thank
Look
you,
at
Caleb.
You're welcome. Hey, I
Figuring it
did
out.
something.
Hey, you did a lot. Oh my!
And now I have to leave.
Spill booze on my computer, Kitty.
I have to leave, everyone.
Kitty wants
I
you
will
to
talk to you
stay.
soon.
Gotta go.
Got to go pick up my kids.
We are like 5 minutes away from
Yep.
leaving ourselves.
But
So
I'll catch you on the flippity flop.
indeed, have fun playing poker.
I will.
Oh, we should
Next weekend.
we should do a poker night.
I'm for it. APDC poker night.
I miss playing poker.
I'll suck after so many years.
I know, me
I
too.
didn't do it when you guys did it. Like I was in St. Louis during the whole craze. So I'm not crazy about it.
Good. Bring all your money.
Well, Ryan, it's just you and me now.
It's just you and me.
Pull your pants up.
I will not. Look at it.
Is there any?
In the real world.
There's lots of real world, which is unfortunately
You're going to be like, this episode was dedicated to the bombing
Well,
of Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
Yeah. Well, it's unfortunate Caleb couldn't be here because I was going to talk about a serial killer later. So, number 176. That's this episode. In the real world, Scramble City, April 1986. Since we didn't have a specific air date for this one, I just went with the general time period of April of 86. American Top 40, number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 for the last 2 weeks of April was Prince and the Revolution's song Kiss. You know this song.
Of course.
It ranked number 85 on Rolling Stone's list of the 500 greatest songs of all time. Kiss was Prince's third number 1 hit following 1984's When Doves Cry and Let's Go Crazy. Following Prince's death in April of 2006, this song again charted on the Billboard Hot 100 and reached into the mid-20s. The song has also been covered to great success by British bands Age of Chance and Art of Noise, as well as Tom Jones. It's a great song. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah, the Tom Jones version is great. What album is this? What album era is this? Hang on. Prince and the Revolution. Is it the Purple? It's not the Purple Rain soundtrack, right?
I don't think so. It's, Prince and the Revolution, 86.
Under the Cherry Moon soundtrack.
Prince was a good artist.
Yeah, one of the best. It's really, really sad. I never got the opportunity to see him live.
I thought you were going to say meet him.
I never got the opportunity to do a collabo with Prince.
Was you on the cowbell?
Precisely.
So we're going to talk about the actual #1 movie for the April 1986 in our Transformers the Movie Revisit episode. Today, I chose an innocuous but fun little comedy called The Money Pit, starring Tom Hanks and Shelley Long. Do you know this movie?
No.
You really?
I've heard of it. I've never seen it. I'm sorry. I don't know why I'm apologizing.
I don't. This film was directed by Richard Benjamin, who also directed the strange 1993 movie Made in America, starring Ted Danson and Whoopi Goldberg.
I didn't see that either.
Well,
Was that around the that was the blackface era?
quick aside, that movie led to the two actors having a romantic affair and Ted Danson's second divorce. And then, yes, there was during the time where there was an unfortunate, weird blackface thing that Ted Danson did that apparently Whoopi Goldberg was like, cool. I loved it. And I wrote all the jokes that he did. And I'm like, okay, girl, whatever. Go look that up, ladies and gentlemen.
But hey, you know what? I don't think it killed his career.
It didn't, but he's like, really regret that, and it was a time in my life where it's like I didn't know what I was doing.
Well, I mean, he did it to be edgy. He didn't do it to be racist, but it is racist.
It is completely racist, of course. So the long and the short of this movie, The Money Pit, is that Shelley Long and Tom Hanks buy a mansion for a ludicrously low amount from a woman who claims she has to sell it quickly because her husband has become arrested and all their money is going toward lawyers. A comedy of errors follows, with the contractors seemingly taking advantage of the couple and everything in the house being defective. There's a great scene where the bathtub falls through the second floor into the first floor, and Tom Hanks does a ludicrous, extended laugh performance for 30 seconds, which I'll probably put up on the website. In a fun, life imitates art sort of way, the exterior shots were a dumpy 1898 house in Long Island, which finally sold for $3.5 million in 2019, a significant loss in relation to the renovation costs. The film holds a perfectly divisive 50% rating on Rotten Tomatoes, Roger Ebert giving The Money Pit 1 out of 4 stars, calling it one monotonous sight gag after another, which he's not wrong, but I still like it. I'm never upset or bored when watching it, and a fair number of critics has compared this film to the 1948 Cary Grant vehicle, Mr. Blandings Builds His Dream House. And apparently, Ice Cube's 2000 film, Are We Done Yet? Which apparently are all based on the same thing. It's a 90-minute watch. It's fun. Whatever. I don't care. It earned $55 million on a $10 million budget, and Yakov Smirnoff is in the movie. So,
What a cunt. Tree.
oh, good job. Fun fact.
Have you ever tried to grow a cunt tree? I think they have to be, it's tropical. You don't get enough.
I planted one, and it didn't come up.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Sasha. It's a joke about a woman I killed. Named Sasha. Speaking of women that have been killed, fun facts of this week.
We are never let it be said that the APDC are not kings of transition.
Good Lord. Fun facts from this week in history. Okay, not exactly fun facts, because we're about to talk about the serial killer Lonnie David Franklin Jr., better known as the Grim Sleeper. Right around this time this movie came out was when the minimal trail the LAPD had on the Grim Sleeper went cold. Do you know the Grim Sleeper?
Nope.
Okay. Went stone cold. Not that it had been that warm in the first place, as there were no fewer than 5 other serial killers operating in Los Angeles at the same time. Los Angeles and New York were garbage pits and horrifying places in the 70s and 80s. Also, Franklin was a black man who murdered black women, mostly drug addicts and sex workers, basically known as the least dead and the least investigated people on Earth. In the beginning, these murders were known as the Strawberry Murders, as Strawberry was slang for a woman who exchanged sex for drugs. To their mild credit, the LAPD did try to investigate, but they weren't very good at their jobs or catching serial killers in the 70s and 80s. And just... serial killing is a hard crime to solve, but the brass also didn't tell the community that these crimes were happening in about their suspicions, or that a serial killer was even a possibility. The Grim Sleeper got his name because he took a break from murders between 1988 and 2002.
Oh, Jesus.
Franklin was caught in 2010 with, admittedly, a dedicated investigation with undercover cops in a pizzeria who eventually got a pizza crust with Franklin's DNA on it, based on a tip from one of the women who survived him. Franklin was convicted of 11 murders and suspected of upwards of 25. The Grim Sleeper died in prison on March 28, 2020, at the age of 67. It has long been a myth that there aren't black serial killers, which is stupid, because of course there are. There are just fewer black people in the United States than white people. And as male serial killers kill people they're attracted to, Bundy killing white co-eds with straight brown hair, Jeffrey Dahmer killing young gay men, black serial killers tend to not get as much attention because they kill black women, typically. Welcome back to the APDC Real World, and that's what I got for you today.
Wow.
Grim Sleeper. Yeah.
What was the MO? I mean, other than black women, was there another calling card?
No, he basically raped and strangled them.
Okay.
And some shot them sometimes. But yeah, again, there were a lot of these murders were all attributed to. There were 6 or 7 serial killers operating in LA at the same time, and a lot of the crimes were attributed to the other people until he was caught, and it turned out it wasn't him. But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, horrible.
Sounds like a good time to deviate on our script.
Script deviations.
This isn't your average script deviations because, again, especially with the episode as weird and obscure as this one is, I could find no script online because there are lots of conflicting information.
It was probably written in Japanese as well. So
everybody knows it's trauma from Godzilla or the atomic bomb. Caleb's not here to defend himself. This stupid decision.
Today, Aaron will play the role of Caleb. Fuck you guys.
Yes. So this is more interesting facts and trivia. First off, this episode was written by, like you said, Aaron, Toyohito Andro, an anime and live-action TV screenwriter in the 70s and 80s. In addition to Scramble City, he wrote scripts for The Headmasters, Super God Master Force, Victory, and Zone. Mm-hmm. Outside of Transformers, he wrote for Captain Future and Samurai Giants. This episode has a truly staggering number of characters in it. There are 25 Autobots, 28 Decepticons, and 4 humans for a grand total of 57 characters in a 23-minute show. And before you ask, no, that does not include the recycled animation. So that's 57 characters in 15 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing. Most of them new.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I guess new.
Well, no, new to the Japanese audience.
I guess, yeah. It's everything about this episode has an asterisk. There's an entire paragraph on the TF Wiki about all the animation and technical errors, mostly involving the fact that the whole concept of Scramble City is about combiner limb switching, yet completely falls apart because of animation and coloring errors. We talked about that. I believe in Season 3, there's an episode where the Decepticons do create Tripticon. Again, we talked about this, which is a bit of a continuity issue. And there's no follow-up to this episode, so the cliffhanger is left dangling. There is, as we mentioned, a Scramble City 2, but it's an extended, stop-motion commercial retelling the episode, but with the addition of Galvatron.
He's just one of Megatron's dudes.
One of the myths, or what appears to be a myth, is the belief that actually this is even said on the 20th anniversary DVD commentary that this was meant to be an introduction to Japanese audiences to the new characters for Transformers the movie, which is not true. Maybe the the commenters just misspoke, but it was actually meant to be a promo video for the new line of just Scramble City toys, at least only in Japan. I mean, Ultra Magnus, like we said in Rap Ad, are the only new characters from the movie that are even in this episode. Mm-hmm. So, that's it.
Well, Ron Friedman can't take credit for this one.
Nope.
Love you, Ron. If you were to rate the scheme, how would you rate it?
Whose scheme?
Well, the scheme is, I guess, that the Autobots have a secret base to build combiners and also build a base that transforms into a battle station and robot to match and overpower the Decepticons' combiner tech. But the Decepticons seem to already know about all of that,
right?
And have it matched.
Have contingency plans.
Apples to apples.
Becky Apples. Look that up. Centaur World.
Back to that.
I give it a 6.
I'm not even going to rate it.
All right.
Unrateable.
Who gives a shit? This episode's dumb. Sorry.
Great
everybody.
animation.
It is. The animation is very good.
Illustrations are solid, on point. There's not really too many awkward drawings. Is there an iconic moment?
I really did like seeing Metroplex in Fortress-like mode, and Metroplex is very toy accurate actually in this one. I liked seeing his missiles flip around, his guns come out. That was pretty cool.
The notes I saw were that his animation model changed pretty drastically between this and season 3, as did Triptychon's. But I liked both of these.
I did too.
Very much. They're a little off topic. Maybe I can't speak on this because I don't know exactly where it comes from, but there's this video from some anime, I believe, that was produced after Transformers the movie that came out recently, where it's about around the transformation scheme of Autobot City, but some other anime had basically ripped that off almost frame for frame. It's almost like they had rotoscoped Transformers the movie and of that transformation scene of Autobot City. It made the rounds on Twitter a month or two ago. It was really interesting to see the influence and possibly theft. I don't know. Okay, well, I'll look that up.
We will, or we won't.
We probably not.
Probably we won't.
If you like what we do, we have this thing. It's called Patreon. It's a fun little community, and you can toss a couple bucks, hang out, do the Patreon thing.
We love money.
And it definitely helps fund things like the booty box that we recently sent out to the world, minus Australia.
Yeah.
We also have our APDC store, and you can peep that. I just shipped a poster off today, as a matter of fact.
Sweet.
All of it is it either, well, you can go to patreon.com/APODcast or autopoddecepticast/store. Keep on listening. We're back.
We're back, baby. And then we're into season 3.
We should, well, I say we should. I keep putting off the Flint Dilly conversation. We should get him to join us.
I say this all the time, and you're the one who's like, meh.
Well, maybe I just am scared. Talk to my heroes.
He's completely approachable. We've talked to him before.
I know. But tell your friends.
Tell your wife.
Tell Flint Dilly. Continue listening to Autopod Decepticast, Apple Podcast, Stitcher, Spotify, Google Play, and TuneIn. Leave us a review,
please,
or some great feedback.
5 stars.
And social media: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram @APODcast. That's actually not true at Facebook anymore. The @APODcast Facebook presence was the store presence. I don't really know what just the social presence is, but you'll find it.
Ask Caleb.
And you can find our web stuff at autopoddecepticast.com. That's it.
That's all she wrote.
What a wacky return.
It really was rambly and weird, like you come to expect. And that's the APDC promise. Bye, bye, bye.
Great episode.
Still recording. 3 hours. I think I texted this. I'm surprised, Caleb. Actually, if your kids haven't or maybe they have. And
we've been recording.
Been watched Centaur World.
What's that?
It's an animated show on Netflix. It was only 2 seasons. It was like it's a complete it's done. I don't think they'll do anymore, but it's pretty great. It's a musical. It's like musical theater, but it's like an animated show about a horse and her rider, and she's a war horse, and she gets transported to Centaur World, where everybody's a centaur. Like there are centaur birds and centaur llamas, and
Is a centaur bird like a bird with a horse body?
it's called a bird tar. It's just it's just a bird. Like,
That sounds like a slur.
it does now that I sing it out loud. But it's oh my god, it's so good. Like
Who
West
did the
Knight-
animation? Anybody?
Oh, I don't know. Like the writing is really good, and then it's a very emotional. It's a very emotional show. It's basically again like everything now is about like trauma and dealing with your own issues, and yeah, it's very good and very touching, and it is a musical. So like every episode, which I think is probably like 25 minutes long, there's a couple of songs in it, and the horse gets transported to Centaur World, and she has to deal with losing her rider, and then try and get back to her through a portal. And we watched both seasons like in one day because there's only like 18 altogether.
I'll ask them about it. I'll see if they've seen it or not.
It's very good. I recommend it. It's one of the best villains ever. Like the villain is very scary, and this is not much of a spoiler, but very ends up the final episode is an hour and a half, I think. So it's basically like a movie. But the villain ends up being very sympathetic to an extent. Like you don't side with them, but you're like, I get it. It's sort of like Darth Vader, kind of.
Oh, it looks a little like BoJack Horseman style animation.
A little.
It's worth
And then
looking
I will
into.
just say one fun standout character is Becky Apples, who's only in like 3 episodes, but she's a psychotic warhorse and is so awesome.
My kids actually, they haven't been watching a lot of new stuff. Surprisingly, they watch a
What
lot.
do they watch?
They've been watching, like my 8-year-old watches The Simpsons. I think he's just about seen every single Simpsons episode.
Wow.
Did they care for the books that I got them?
Yeah.
You're just saying that.
The look of guilt on his face.
Which books?
For Christmas I bought them like the Simpsons comic books series 1 and 2.
The youngest one really likes that stuff.
Okay.
He's a huge Simpsons head. So he's I think he actually in the past 6 months has crushed every single Simpsons episode. That's what he watches. He's really into it. He loves it.
I just realized that you moved this painting, and I also just realized
that
this is a
dude.
velvet painting of a naked lady that I bought Ryan back in the day. She appears to be, I don't know, Aztec or something.
She's Hispanic.
I
and
think Hispanic, yeah.
Latina.
Mm-hmm.
Well, she could be native. Anyway, I just noticed she's giving us the white power okay symbol.
No, you're
No, she's not. That she would be closing it.
This was
Well,
way
also
before
this
that.
painting was made way before the alt right.
because we used to do the like up. You looked at my hand
Exactly.
thing, and that was ruined by like I had to tell my son to stop doing it because they would get misinterpreted.
Yeah, it's why I cannot be like okay anymore because like it's now it's.
I think
it's
if you
ruined.
do okay like this, you're still.
Oh,
okay.
it's down by your hip.
I
It's
don't know.
is the
No,
No,
best
this is
part?
like
I don't know.
no,
It might be bad
it's not.
It
It's
might
like,
be bad everywhere.
If you do this, it's like you saw this has been around forever. But
Yeah.
the white, whatever it is, it ruined it because it's they're two separate things. But then you got to sit there and explain it for like 10 minutes. Like no, you don't understand. This was around first, and it should work. Bullshit like that. It's like how the swastika, the swastika ruined that symbology for everything else.
Yeah,
White nationalists ruin
hey,
everything.
every 20-year-old guy who wants to go to a party and explain how the swastika is actually a Buddhist symbol, stop doing
Yeah,
that.
no,
it's
that's
too late.
Just don't even get started.
What about my Pepe the Frog memes? Or my Groiper memes? I loved them so.
Bro Cells is the sponsor of Autopod Decepticast. Yes.